right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto market. Welcome in, everybody. Yeshwant, much love to you. Thank you so much for being here. Stefan Dingus 8985, welcome in. Great timing, Divine. Yes, thank you, man. I wanted to open the stream a little bit early because we're coming down to this key level where we could look for a possible scalp long opportunity. So thank you for being here. It's going down to the next days to 47K. Wow. Well, I don't think it's going to be that aggressive, but we could see a dump under 60K depending on what happens in this local area that we're at, the 74K area. But welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Golden Liquidations, welcome in, man. Yep, key decision point. Let's see if we get that fifth wave to the downside, taking 60K, or if we're going to continue to push up a little bit, which is possible, guys, based off of the potential impulse we're seeing right now that's developed since Saturday. Caleb, welcome in. Little Rich, welcome in. Not quicker, welcome in, man. So, okay, guys, and I see you said you already longed. It's not a bad spot to start looking. We're at the 1.236 Fibonacci extinction target. So first off, if we look, let's just zoom out to the 15-minute first here. And we did front run that anchored VWAP on the Coinbase chart. We did front run the anchored VWAP, and the move down that we've seen so far does look like a pretty corrective move to the downside. And if we are going to bounce between the 1-to-1 Fibonacci and that 1.236 is the level where you really do want to see that bounce coming in. So we are at that level, but I'm not liking how we front ran the liquidity grab just now, and we're starting to push up here. To me, it's a warning sign. Honestly, it's a warning sign. It would have been much nicer to actually come down and grab that local liquidity before seeing this rise to the upside. But we could be looking at, if we zoom out on, let's just go to the 2-hour chart here, and let's just discuss this right now while it's happening. The move from Saturday, we had those geopolitical events that happened on Saturday. It dumped us down, but we did end up making a higher low on the charts. And really, since then, we've been kind of pushing up in what we could say is a double 1-2 impulse. A 1, 2, 1, 2. This was our big third wave that we got yesterday. So then we need 2, 4, 5. So we would be looking for a 4 and then a 5, and then maybe another 4 and another 5 coming up to kind of finish this impulsive structure, where then we could see a giant dump to the downside, or we could see us put in a higher low and continue the push up to much bigger levels of resistance above us. So key decision point is kind of happening right now at this kind of anchored VWAP resistance here. And remember the last time we were at an anchored VWAP resistance, let me just zoom out to the daily time frame real quick. The last time we were at this key anchored VWAP resistance at 98K, we did reject and we did form that big move down. So if we take the anchored VWAP from the all-time high, right when we came up, and we came up in a very similar structure. If you look at the structures, you kind of have this 3-wave move up to backtest that VWAP. That was your trend. That's your volume-weighted average trend. If you do reject from that, you expect to at least come take out the local lows, right? And so now, for the past month, we've been forming a very similar looking range where we're coming up to the next key anchored VWAP from that from that lower high. So if we do reject here, you could see that big dump down to 57, 58K. But the way that we've pushed up here, this could turn into an impulse where we do come up to much higher levels, you know, even $85,000, $86,000, depending on what happens. So very important decision time. We also talked about how this range would last 1 to 4 weeks, and we're pretty much at 4 weeks now. We're pretty much at the ending decision point of this range. So that's why I think it was Monday or Tuesday, I made my thumb saying the range is going to end soon. Expect a major move soon. And we did get that move up yesterday, but is it a fake out into resistance, getting a bunch of people to long the top? Once again, guys, a bunch of people to long the top. If we zoom out here and go to the 15-minute chart, I mean, it never fails. This last push up that we saw, particularly starting this on March 3rd, you know, a couple days ago, a lot of longs were stepping in. You can see here a lot of longs stepping in overall, and a lot of those were fresh long positions. So now we're dumping and our open interest is dropping here. We're just stopping out some of the late longers. We're starting to stop out some of the late longers, but this is a good thing, guys. When we're seeing those, you know, shorts, we did see some shorts kind of flat on your CVD, but you're getting those longs stopping out, which is a sell position or a short position. And then now we're actually even starting to see some buys come in, but it is late shorters getting stopped out. Probably, you know, I got stopped out earlier today on that 1-to-1 Fibonacci extinction target at the bottom of the channel. So it could be something like that happening right now. But the fact that we are dumping on a decrease in open interest is actually somewhat good for the bulls, because we are not seeing fresh short positions open up right now at resistance. And that does suggest that we could get another high. Another thing that we're seeing right now is, because this does look like a three-wave corrective move, you know, taking out some local liquidity would be really nice to get that at least a move up. I already have the trade kind of planned out. If we get that SFP, I would be looking for, you know, the SFP, the reclaim, as soon as we reclaim that, or you could even be safe and wait for the reclaim of the 1.236, I would be looking to take out that high from yesterday into your actually touching the anchored VWAP. And that would be a nice, we would expect a nice little impulse, you know, within that, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, some sort of impulsive price action to come up to take out these highs and potentially even come a little bit higher. So yes, we do have opportunity right now. We do see some nice bull divs on the chart as well on the 5-minute. You can see these bull divs developing on the chart, money flow curving to the upside. Nami's got the bull divs as well developing. Yes, it is low time frame. 5-minute is nothing much. If we look on the 15-minute here, 15-minute, we do have some wonky bull divs here coming down to our support. And then we did have some, I guess Nami doesn't really have those bull divs, but money flow is finally starting to curve to the upside. Let's look at our 12-minute real quick. 12-minute does tend to give you, yeah, we do have some bull divs coming in here. On the 12-minute, we also have bull divs on the money flow, and we have bull divs and money flow bottoming out here. So is this a level to start looking? Yes, it definitely is. Once again, guys, I am really concerned that we front ran that liquidity grab at $70,592. You would much rather have seen us grab that liquidity being used as fuel to then give us that reaction to the upside. And we still could. We're starting to chop kind of in this selling exhaustion channel that I talk about. You get your kind of chop at the beginning, you get your big move down, and now we're starting to kind of see that selling exhaustion come in here. And so this is a local scalp long opportunity for us that we could even let it run in case we're going to break out into the 80s. Or up, at least up to 78K, which if you guys watched yesterday's video, I laid out 78K is a pretty decent resistance area for us. Let's go to the 2-hour chart. Now, on the 2-hour chart, if this is going to be a double 1-2 impulse, a 1-2, 1-2, this was our third wave, and we're looking for some 4-5s to come in here. You do not want to see overlap between the highs of your wave 2 and the lows of your wave 4. That is a hard invalidation rule in Elliott waves. And so if we do come down to $70,129, let's say 128, you will invalidate the impulse. And in that scenario, we would have to say that this is some sort of maybe contracting diagonal in here or expanding diagonal. It's very hard to look at this as a diagonal right now, but we would have to say that this is some sort of corrective structure. We are at major resistance, and we might see that big dump to the downside. Okay, let me check the chat here, guys. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We got bull dips. Yeah, we do have some low time frame bull dips, and we are at our little local support level. The way I got that Fibonacci extinction target, if you just take your trend-based Fibonacci extinction, you're going to go from the highs of your A wave to the lows of your A wave to the highs of your B wave. And you can see we are coming right into that Fibonacci extinction target here. And so this is the area to start looking if we are going to bounce. If we're seeing an ABC correction, then you're looking for that area between the 1-to-1 and the 1.236 Fibonacci. If it's going to continue in an impulse to the downside, then we would have to look at you know, we would come down and probably hit that 1.618, which would invalidate our impulse, right? Because we would be taking out this high, our prior highs. So if we do come down there, sure, you might see a bounce when you get down there, but I would be expecting a wave 4 before seeing another wave 5. And because we started this with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you would look for a lower high before potentially crashing hard on a bigger third wave to the downside. Okay. Yeah, awesome. Not quicker. Good to hear you had a plan for that. Front ran, so we might end up blowing through it later. Yes, because we did front run it, we might end up blowing through it later. When you do front run a liquidity grab so closely, say we right now, say in the next 2-3 hours, we kind of grind our way up to back test this channel and reject again. I'm really worried that we're going to blow down through this SFP because of the front run of it. So no limit orders are set at this $70,600 level. I am waiting for the pierce of the level and then the reclaim of the level. And once we probably close a 5-minute candle above, that is when I will enter my long position. Until then, I am sitting and waiting because we are at major resistance, guys. This could really start to roll over. And, we could start to see that squeeze that is already starting. We can see that long squeeze is already starting, but we had a lot of longs coming in. Actually, really from the Saturday lows, you can see all these long positions that have been stepping in, a lot of fresh long positions. The open interest has been relatively going up pretty aggressively, but at least it's been going up really aggressively since like Tuesday. We're at that $66,100 area. This in particular is very aggressive with long positions. And if we remember, if you guys were with me back a few months ago, when we were looking at that bigger daily range that looks very, very similar to this range, just a longer, higher time frame, in this range from 80,500 to 98,000, remember this last push up was really aggressive, and it started with all this kind of chop that we're seeing now, and then you got the big push up, and then you got a little bit more chop in here. We saw a whole lot of long positions opening in this last little leg. Everyone was getting bullish, saying, oh, 110K, 100 new all-time highs, stuff like that. And that is when we hit into our resistance and really nuked. And we did look like we were coming up in that overall corrective range. So right now, it does look very, very similar, eerily similar to what is happening there. We are doing that kind of corrective 3-wave range, and specifically in this last little bit here, we have seen a lot of long positions stepping in, which will be used as fuel to really start us to impulse us to the downside if we do see that bigger crash happen. And we would expect to come take out your 60K lows. We're also looking at that as still one of our primary Elliott wave scenarios. Let's just go to the Bybit chart here real quick. And if we're looking at from the all-time highs, let me just go to the 12-hour chart. From the all-time highs, we're still looking at our 5-wave count. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're in the 5th wave, but that 5th wave is not completed yet. So this extended 5th wave, which it is already an extended 5th wave, and sure, is there a way to count this? It's not likely that it's done, the impulse is done, because we would have to say drop to 87.5 in a wave 1. You have your running flat in a wave 2. This drop with increased volume all the way to 60K in a wave 3. Then you get your wave 4 corrective move up to the 0.5 Fibonacci, and then you would get your wave 5 to push down to at least take out your 60K lows. And that would finish the overall bigger impulse on the daily time frame, and it would finish your 5th wave impulse from 98K. So the next macro low we make could be a really nice swing long position. But we are breaking up with nice volatility. We do have some nice money flow on the charts, crossing into the green on mini time frames and getting a nice, like if we go to the daily time frame here, on the daily time frame, Manami just crossed up into the green. We have all these nice trigger waves looking really nice here. And then on Market Cipher B, it looks like it's starting to bottom out. So could we see the pump? Yes, we could, guys. For the first time yesterday, I started to say the way we pushed up really from Saturday's low is concerning to me, because if we're in a multiple 1-2 impulse, then you could see a push up to 78K easy. But right now, is the key decision point. Right now, during this stream, during this day, the back test that we're seeing of our 0.5 Fibonacci. So actually, let's pull that target here. So if we're going to go look at this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then from here to here is your third wave, then we want to pull that trend base, Fibonacci retracement from the lows of our wave 3 to the highs of our wave 3, and we want to put on those wave 4 targets between the 0.5 Fibonacci and the 382 Fibonacci. But there's a problem here, guys. Our 0.5 Fibonacci is below our prior highs. It's just below it. See, 70.084 on Bybit, 70.065. So if we hit that 0.5, even though it's a fourth wave target, it would invalidate the hard rule of being no overlap within the third wave, within your wave 4 lows and your wave 2 highs. So we cannot hit that 0.5 Fibonacci. It will invalidate the impulse. What we want to see instead is a bounce, probably grabbing this local liquidity and front running that area. It would still give us that probability that this is an impulse. It wouldn't invalidate it. And until it's invalidated completely, we have to keep it in mind as a scenario. So we're just being patient right now. I know that we could get a nice trade during the stream the way it's setting up right now. And we're starting to see kind of this grindy corrective channel come in, the selling exhaustion towards the bottom. I am really hoping we do get a long trade to play out during the stream. If we're going to see that, we want to see that SFP. And really, I would like for us to push straight up and find reacceptance back within the channel. We do not want to reject from the back test of the channel again. I would like us to push up, probably up to our VWAP in a wave 1, get that retracement to back test the channel in a wave 2, push up to take out these lower highs in a wave 3, back test the channel in a wave 4, and then push up to take out your highs in a wave 5. So that's what would be really nice to see. It would give us some nice confluence with this trend that is developed over, the past 24 hours or so. And we're just going to we're going to be patient and wait to see what happens. I am not taking any trades until we get that confirmed SFP, because there is a possibility we could dump. All right, let's see here. Let me just welcome in everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Mohammed Elman, welcome in. 4-hour BTC is very overbought and coming down from extreme. This 1 hour looks like a correction and a rejection to continue down. Yeah, so far, this move does look corrective, guys. There is not, and even if we look at our order flow on this move, drop in open interest here. We are not seeing the fresh short positions come in. We wanted to see that open interest continue to increase, and we wanted to see short positions coming in. If you see a lot of shorts at resistance, when you had a lot of longs coming up into that resistance, that could be extra fuel. First, you got the fresh shorts pushing the price down, a healthy move down, and then you would have these added longs being stopped out or liquidated, which would really cause that liquidation cascade to the downside. So I'm a bit hesitant to say that we topped and we're going to dump. If it happens, great. I will look for a re-entry, even if you didn't catch the top. I am not short from the top up here. But if we do get that rejection and start to impulse down here, maybe come up to the 1.618, you could either look for a short at the back test or your wave 4 corrective, between the 382 and the 0.5 Fibonacci and the channel. And then I would at least TP1 once we took out these lows. But after this impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ends, you're going to be looking for a bigger corrective move up to around the golden pocket, pulled from the impulse highs to the impulse lows. And that right there is where we could still enter with good risk management and still take a swing short. So we don't have to absolutely catch the top every time. Remember, guys, there's a lot of people that will try to short right at the top, or like maybe they're going to short within this lower high area. They're going to put their stop above the anchored VWAP and they're targeting way down. They have a 1.55% stop loss. But let's say that we see the impulse finish, we get that 3-wave corrective move up towards the golden pocket. We get that rejection here and we start to reject from wherever that golden pocket is. We enter the short here with our stop above the local high, and then we target the same kind of targets, dropping way more. Even though we got in on a lower price than up here, we're getting in way down here instead of up here at 73,300. We're getting in around 71.5. But because our stop loss is tighter and less of a percentage, we would actually make more money on this trade because your position size would be allowed to be bigger. So it's not about absolutely catching the absolute highs. It's about sniping those entries with the tightest stop losses possible to give you the biggest position size. Mind Tap 3, welcome in, man. I'm doing so good. Thank you so much for being here. It's always great to see you in here. Caleb Corzo, welcome in as well. Testing 70K seems imminent. Well, remember, guys, if we do test this high at 71.28, it is going to invalidate our impulse. And yes, we could bounce. Now, let's pull our volume profile. Let's talk about our volume profile in here. Let me just hide this channel for a second. I also hid that, so there we go. And let me hide these prior highs. Let's just delete that for now. If we look at our volume profile, we broke out and closed the daily candle yesterday above our volume profile. Not that guy there. And so that is in some ways bullish to see a breakout of the value area high with a lot of volume pushing us to the upside, but we're coming to key resistance. So if we do drop, we can pull our golden pocket. We can pull a couple golden pockets in here. You can pull it from your last low to your highs. If we look at that golden pocket area, you can see that golden pocket pretty much at $69,000 is going to be right where your POC is. But if we do come down there, the only bullish scenario we would have left, yes, you could see a bounce from there. First of all, you'd be re-entering back inside your volume profile. That's a bad thing to see. But if we do come down there and bounce, we're likely to make a lower high before making another lower low and seeing the start of a break in market structure. The bullish scenario would be that we're in a multiple 1-2. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and then you would want to see that big third wave come in, and then you'd want to see some 4-5s coming in, right? So we'll keep both scenarios in mind, but coming down, even breaking below pretty much 70,000, where our value area high is, you would have overlap with that prior high, which would invalidate the impulse. So could you get a bounce there? Yes, absolutely. But I would be looking for a lower high between golden pocket and 786, at least for a TP, because then you're looking to potentially break market structure bearishly. Ashinlim, welcome in. Hello to you as well. Time Attack, much love to you, man. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for modding for me. Appreciate you as always. Guy in a hat, I think it's more likely to be a WXY than an impulse from 126K. We still need one more low to finish it, though, so the bias is the same. Yes, I know what you're saying, and we've had both scenarios on the chart for quite some time. So let me zoom out, and if you watched yesterday's video, I covered them in depth in yesterday's video, but we have two scenarios, right? We have the 5-wave impulse to the downside from the all-time high, where we're still in an unfinished 5th wave, and we're going to reject here and take out our 60K lows to finish the 5th wave, or we are in that WXY correction, a 3-wave corrective move, a 3-wave here in a W, 3-wave move here in an X. So let me just 3-wave move here, W, 3-wave move here, X, and then you would say 3-wave move in a Y, but the Y then we would say this is pushed down. We would probably retrace up to, 78 or even 86,000, and then you would dump down in your Y to finish this overall WXY correction. Now, before we were saying, okay, in the Y wave, could you have this little zigzag with a super long ending to Y if it's done? Unlikely, but it is a possibility. You could get that a little kind of flat here in your corrective move for the WXY, and then it's done. Now, here's the key thing, guys. If this is the larger WXY, we did end right at our 1-to-1 Fibonacci extinction target. So if we pull a trend-based Fibonacci extinction from the highs to the lows to the lower highs, and we measure that target, you are bouncing. And even on the daily time frame, your candle wicked past the 1-to-1, but your daily candle closed right at that 1-to-1. So there is a real possibility that the WXY is done, and now we're about to see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then corrective move, and then continue. Or we could say, hey, the Y is still not done. This was the first part of your Y. Here's your corrective move in the Y, and then you're going to get down here to end the Y, finishing the overall WXY, and then you would expect, you know, to push up pretty aggressively after that. So everything that we need to know is based off this local impulse from Saturday. Really, this local move up from Saturday is way more important than anything macro on the chart right now, because it's going to literally tell us this right here. It's going to tell us what is really happening, even give us a bias on what's happening on the higher time frames. Now, here's the thing, guys. On Coinbase, we have not come up. We have not hit the VWAP. We've front ran it just barely. On Bybit USD chart, we have not come up and hit the VWAP at 75,150, let's say. On Bybit USDT, let me pull that anchored VWAP. I thought I had it on the chart, but we will put it on the chart. That is the one where we have hit it and we are rejecting from it. Now, Binance as well. Binance did not hit the anchored VWAP yet. Actually, yes, it did. Binance USDT did. Binance USD did not. But you can see we are coming up to that key level and wicking past it, just like we did at the 98K highs. We wicked past the anchored VWAP for about $900 before dumping. Same thing here. And what is scary about this on Binance and Bybit, because these are high volume exchanges as well. I do like Coinbase the best, but you can see we pushed up through it, rejected, bearish back test of it, rejected, and now we're dropping. That's why this could be an impulse, because we tried to wick through it, we couldn't, we failed, and then we bearishly back tested it and failed. So the second we bearishly back tested here earlier today and failed, we could have expected to take out the lows from last night. So if you guys did get into that short, that was a good short. For me personally, I was sleeping. I did not get into that, but it was really nice. You know, it was a really nice move there. You kind of saw. But on some exchanges, we've hit it. Some exchanges we haven't. Actually, let's go to the index chart. I want to check out the index chart on that, because that's going to be interesting to see. Did the index chart hit the anchored VWAP? We did on the index chart. Okay. Very interesting, guys. Very, very interesting. Man, that could be a major rejection point. So we'll have to see. Let's see. Staying above the high at 70,085 so we don't invalidate the one of the 5 wave up. Yes. The only scenario we don't go down is actually a finished impulse from 126K as a wave A. Okay, I see what you're saying there, the guy in a hat, but if you're going to finish the impulse up here, then what are you doing with the move up on the weekly time frame? You know, are you counting this? Because there's obviously your wave 1 here, your wave 2 in a flat, your wave 3, your wave 4, your wave 5. What is this in here? Is that your 6th wave? Because that, you know, 6 and 7. No, you can't have that in an impulse. If you're going to have 2 4 5s, you need 2 1 2s. Now, could you count it? 2 1 2s like this? 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5. Yes, you can, but there is a major problem with that count, and it's this initial push up here. Yes, you can count 5 waves in it. Actually, if we zoom in on that. Let's just go to the 2-day chart. 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, you can count 5 waves up in that. You get your push down, then you get your bigger flat in a wave 2, but it's this push up here where it's really hard to count that 5 wave impulse in that second. Okay, wait. This push up here where it's hard to count 5 waves. Let me just get in on that a little bit better, and we will look at that. So you can see the 5 waves you have here. But in this, how do you count a 5 wave impulse in this? It really looks, if anything, more like a kind of a flat in your B and then a C in here. Or that would be like a 5th wave. So it's a bit difficult to count it as a double 1-2. It just works far better as a single impulse on that higher time frames, where we topped actually at 108K, and then this could all be part of a flat in here. And I have that scenario on the chart here because we did reject from those flat targets. So if I put on our 5-wave impulse finishing, and then you have that ABC flat, A, B flat, you came right up to your B flat targets, you rejected, and then your C down. Now your C can come all the way, if we look at pulling that Fibonacci retracement from the lows of B to the highs of B, and we put on our expansion targets, you could come all the way down to really the 1.382. We did hit the 1.272 perfectly, pretty much. And we're starting to see that rise up. So yeah, could 60K be the lows even in this scenario? Absolutely. Now, if this is the scenario, and let me just hide some of this, guys, to clean up this chart a bit. If we are in the ABC and we're done with the flat, your most probable scenario is to see a nice big impulse in here in a wave 1. You would get your retracement in a wave 2. You would get a big wave 3, wave 4, and a wave 5. You would be looking for new all-time highs in a lot of cases. If you have a big impulse flat, you would be looking to come up to take out the all-time high. So we would want to see some very nice impulsive price action at the start. And the next week will tell us. The next week is really going to give us everything we need to know. Just be caution, guys. Have some caution, because on the dump down, so on this C wave to the downside, hold on, let me hide this again. On this C wave to the downside, you're looking for a 5-wave move down. And that is that 5-wave move down we've been talking about here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5th wave is probably not done yet. And C wave, after the C wave ends, you want the C wave to be an impulse. So we do need another low. That is when we would expect to see even taking out 60K and coming to 57K. Like I said, that could be the next major low, could be a major low where we do push up pretty aggressively. And in this push down within the C wave, this 5-wave impulse, we had a lot of respect as far as our trend-based Fibonacci extinction targets go. You know, we crashed down. If we take our trend-based Fibonacci extinction and we look from the all-time high to the lows of your first wave to the highs of your second wave, our 1.618 was hit on the third wave, right? That rejection from 116 down to 80.5. You did hit the 1.618, right? So you have your wave 1, your wave 2, your wave 3 did come down and hit the 1.618. Now in your wave 4 retracement, you want to retrace. If you pull a Fibonacci from the highs of wave 3 to the lows of wave 3, you want to retrace between the 382 and the 0.5 Fibonacci. Well, in this corrective move, we did exactly that. Rejected from that general area. And now we're dumping, you know, within the 5th wave. So this does look really nice as an impulse because all the targets are matching up. You ended the wave 3 right around the 1.618. You ended the wave 4 right around the 0.5 Fibonacci and your wave 4 targets. And then even your wave 2, if we pull our Fibonacci here and we look at the golden pocket, you did pretty much come up to your golden pocket. You did front run it a little bit, but it was because it was a liquidity grab of this high. And this was a flat sideways range. But you came up between the 0.5 Fibonacci and the 786 is your most common wave 2 targets. So on the impulse down, I have to say there's very nice Fibonacci correlation to show that this is impulsive price action to the downside. And that's what's so important about this move, guys. So important. And specifically this part of the move. What's going to happen here? Is it going to be another one like this where everyone gets super hyper bullish right into major resistance and then we nuke? All right, let me go back to Coinbase here. What is happening on the lower time frames? Man, I do not like how we are pushing up without taking out that low. I want to put our channel back on the chart. Let's see if we get a rejection from the bottom of the channel again. And let me double check. I also took a pretty nice short on gold yesterday, guys. Money flow still draining on the 24 minute. Okay, let's check out that 24 minute. Yeah, it is pretty aggressively draining. On Market Cipher B, it is. Now, on NAMI, it's nicely curving up, and we have some very nice bull divs. 1 low, 2 low, 3 low. 1, 2, 3 drives a bull div, money flow curving to the upside. And remember, NAMI is quicker to confirm than Market Cipher B is. So for scalping like this, it's a really a nicer confirmation, in my opinion. Machi HK, welcome in, man. Thank you so much for being here. You shorted Chainlink at 956 yesterday. Wow. Well, I was just looking at Chainlink, and I was potentially looking at that, once again, that 3-wave corrective move down to come back test the value area high at 103.5. And if we get a bounce here, I was looking to actually long that to take out your highs. But we did reject, guys, right from that resistance that I laid out with you guys last week. Time Attack, remember when you asked me about this, we laid out this resistance last week. What happened? We pumped right up to that resistance up here. And we are rejecting from that resistance. That was the SFP. I believe it was a daily level or a naked daily point of control. Yeah, you had a naked daily point of control. You had the SFP up there. And then I guess that is it as far as that goes. Yeah, the SFP into the naked daily point of control is what we were looking at. Let's get rid of this one. Now, you didn't actually hit the naked daily point of control. That's why we could see 3-wave corrective move, back test value area high, come up and actually hit that SFP this high into the naked daily point of control, and then you might see a dump. Here's the scary thing about the altcoins. A lot of the altcoins have already invalidated the impulse. Like with Bitcoin, you have your 1, 2, 1, 2, your big third wave here, and then you're retracing in a fourth that hasn't been invalidated. But look at this. This high here is the top of your second two. You have so much overlap already. You're below it. So that is, you cannot say that this is a double 1, 2 impulse. You can't say 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. You cannot say that because we've overlapped here. And in that case, you could be looking at some sort of impulse in an A wave. You kind of have this flat here in a B wave. This is your C wave. You're done with your ABC, and now we're about to start a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you're short from 956, great, man. That's really, really great. We actually had that marked out. I just didn't have an alert set there on that high. I wish I would have. You can see I had an alert on the naked daily. Damn it. But this could turn into something very bearish. If you lose 903.5, I would leave that short open to literally come down and take out these lows. It could be a very nice short, Mach HK. And once again, good job getting in another great trade. Testing the top of that range could be bullish, though. And I think you're talking about Bitcoin. Yes, testing the top of your breakout. If you're talking about this, the value area high of the breakout. As far as volume profile trading goes, yes, you break out of the volume profile. If you come back for the bullish backtest and you bounce, you do expect to kind of come up and make new highs. But it would invalidate this at least as an impulse. I'm not saying we can't make another new high, but it would invalidate this as an impulse, and we probably wouldn't be expecting much, much higher, right? You might come up here, bounce, see a bigger flat correction where then you're going to, have your big push down, come back up, take it, and then come all the way back down again. So I wouldn't be expecting a huge breakup to like 78K in that scenario. I would be expecting more of a double top. All right. What is going on here, Bitcoin? Man, it really is a shame that we front ran that SFP. We're going to just hide this for now because we are not in this long. Crypto Wanderer 1, what's up, man? Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, please hit the like button for me. If you got anything out of this live stream, or if you do, please hit the like button for me. Also, really quickly, I just want to take a second to shout out the partners of the channel. So the main partner of the channel is BYDFI. They are a VPN and KYC free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. If you do sign up using my affiliate link in the description below, you can get a minimum of 20% discounts on your trading fees, and you can actually earn up to 40% discounts if you deposit some large amounts into the exchange. They're offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses, depending on how much volume you trade in the futures markets. And they're offering some of the best initial deposit bonuses in the industry. 50% deposit bonus on $100. You can get a 20% deposit bonus on up to $1,000, and then a 10% deposit bonus on up to $20,000. I've also partnered with BYDFI to create that Telegram community where I do post my updates to you guys. I let you guys know what I'm thinking. I let you guys know if I enter a trade, not only on Bitcoin, but on the altcoins as well. So if you're interested in joining the Telegram, it's free. All you need to do is sign up with BYDFI using my affiliate link and then deposit a minimum deposit of $100. You can deposit more if you want to. And once you've done that, click the Telegram link in the description of this video. Once you're in the Telegram verify channel, type in /verify in your BYDFI user ID, and that'll get you into the Telegram. And once you're in, you're in. Second partner of the channel is NAMI Trading. And NAMI is this momentum and money flow indicator down here that I use for confirmations. Like right now, we're seeing bullish divergences as we're coming down and hitting our 1.236 Fibonacci extinction target. So we did have some bullish confirmations to enter along here around that 1.236. Now, I waited because I wanted to see Liquidity grab. But if you're interested in purchasing NAMI, I've partnered with them to get us 50% off. So if you do use my affiliate link in the description and you use promotion code DIVINE50, you can get 50% off. I just want to watch this here, guys, because if we reject here, I do expect to come down and make new lows. Another partner of the channel is Blowfin. Blowfin is a new non-KYC exchange that I'm partnered with. And Blowfin has given us some pretty good initial deposit bonuses and VIP 1 for the first 300 users for 30 days. If you deposit just $5, you can receive a $10 voucher. And they're offering some really good initial deposit bonuses as well. 10% on $10,000, 20% on $100. So if you're interested, link for Blowfin's in the description. And then lastly, we have MEXC and Bybit, both KYC exchanges, really good exchanges. If Bybit's offering up to 30,000 in futures trading bonuses, and MEXC is offering a 10% initial deposit bonus up to $1,000. So those are the partners of the channel. If you do want to help out the channel and just help me, or just a way to say thank you, using those affiliate links does help me. So I appreciate if you do that. Also, you can hit the like button. You can subscribe to the channel, share the video, all that good stuff as well. It does help give support to the channel. And thank you, Time Attack, for posting those links in the description. C-Train, welcome in, man. I appreciate that comment. Link, I'm accumulating quite a bit. It's only, tell me, right over the years, back to $3, then again, so I did 8. Okay, yeah, I mean, I have bought a lot of spot Chainlink. We're starting to reject here, guys. Let's see if we get that low. That would be really nice. If we come down and take out that low, it would be really nice here. Let's see if we can get that one more SFP. In the meantime, we're not getting that SFP, are we? Microwave 4 just took the 786. Well, we could be looking at this here. If we're looking at a 1 2 1 2, actually your 2 was a flat, so you have your 1 2 1, and then you kind of have this flat in a 2. Here's your big third wave right here. Our 4 could also be a flat. We could say this was a running flat in a 4, and then this is a 5, and then we would need one more 4, and then we would need one more 5. Because we got a flat here, you might see a flat here as well. Let's see if that's the case. So there is still a valid count for this to be a double 1-2 impulse if we take out the low one more time and then get that big push up. I've watched the chart enough to see a lot of NPOCs got front run. Yes, yeah, and Machi HK, more importantly than the NPOC was that SFP, right? You SFP'd the range highs and you got below. ETH also did that yesterday. ETH had the SFP of the range highs, and remember those semi-equal range highs on ETH. But look at that clean SFP right there. Super clean SFP. As soon as you drop below it, you can enter short. If I was watching Chainlink at the time, I would have absolutely entered that short position. You did have bear divs on NAMI, multiple drives of bear divs on NAMI on the 1 hour coming up to that SFP. So great short position right there. If we look at Ethereum, Ethereum did something very, very similar. We came up to the semi-equal range highs, or they're pretty much exactly equal range highs at 2150. You can see this high and this high were pretty much exactly the same. We came up, it wasn't a clean SFP, but we did hit into some key Fibonacci extinction targets. So once again, looking at this push up as a wave A, you have your running flat and a B, and then this is your C. And you came up to that 1.236, took out the liquidity of the range highs, and now are we going to see impulsive price action to the downside? Another thing on Ethereum is we did hit, after taking the range highs and hitting that 1.236, we did come down and fall below our pitchfork band. So we're back inside of the bigger pitchfork band now that we've been kind of chopping in. We're trying to bounce from the value area high right now, but you can see pitchfork band resistance. It was acting as resistance in here. So we came up, tried to break above it, fell back below it. So that is a sign that we could see some weakness here. On Ethereum, and did we make one more low? We just did get that low. Wow, that SFP on Ethereum is exactly what I was waiting for, guys. Dang it. So I was looking for the flat in here. Actually, earlier today, I was in scalp mode because I saw Jason was scalping the 1 minute, and I just got into scalp mode. We got our big push down here. This was literally a flat. A, B flat, C flat. You just took that out right there. Boom. So you took out the high. So I was actually looking at shorting this just to take out this. And that would have played out, man. All right. Let's go back to Bitcoin, see what Bitcoin's up to. We're trying to break back inside the channel, but we have not yet. Yes, Mind Tapestry, it is a blessed day, man. Been doing 1 and 15-minute time frame scalping all day since New York Open and just finished. I did ZC, ICP, XMR, Doge. Man, I'm so thankful for it. Awesome, dude. I hope you were really profitable with it as well. And sometimes in these ranges like this, it is good to get into that scalping mentality and just play small moves. But always, no matter what size trade you're taking, no matter if it's a scalp trade, day trade, swing trade, always just make sure you're planning that trade out and planning the risk management ahead of time. But yeah, there's been some good trades, and I actually do want to start getting into scalping a little bit more in these live streams, just because it is more exciting for us if we're entering trades and exiting trades in live streams and seeing actual real profit in the live streams. So I still do want to potentially enter that scalp long if we do take out this low and get back above it. Once again, 70,000, at least on Coinbase, 70,128 is our invalidation. On Bybit, 70,084. But overlap between this high is our invalidation, no matter what exchange you're on. Now you can see up here, I have this line marked as invalidation as well. And what is this about, guys? What is that invalidation about? Well, if we zoom out onto the daily time frame, that invalidation is about this being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? If we're looking for that extended fifth wave to finish, which has been my primary scenario over the past month or so, actually, yeah, past month at least, coming up to the golden pocket, pulled from the highs of your wave 3 to the lows of your wave 3, if you hit that golden pocket, it invalidates the wave that this is a wave 4 corrective move before seeing new lows. So if we do come up and even hit 77,345, we say, okay, this is more likely to be an impulse that probably is going to continue up to 78 for a wave 3. Then we get wave 4, then we get wave 5. We do have a couple levels. If you watch yesterday's video, $83,500 and $86,000 are big resistances. Going to this chart here, you can see our pitchfork band is going to be coming in at 85, 86,000. That's where your value area low of this upper 2025 range is. This range here, value area low on Coinbase, is right in line with that. If we go to the bigger multi-cycle pitchfork, $78,000 is the start, and 78 also has all that confluence. We have a naked daily point of control. Let me go to Coinbase. At 78,000, we have a daily level. We have a naked daily point of control. I laid it out yesterday, right in here. So we have that naked daily point of control in that area. We have a daily level in that area. We also have a golden pocket in that area. If you pull the golden pocket from this last big high to the low at 60K, you have a golden pocket in that area. And then we also have the couple pitchforks that line up with that area. Let's see. And then there was one more thing we were looking at. All right. Let's just go back to Coinbase, and I want to zoom. I just want to see what's going to happen here. Starting to reject from the back test of the channel. If we close another 5-6 minute candle red, I would say it's likely we're going to reject and come take out the lows. Let's see if we get it. Now let's look at a potential scalp short. Stop, go above that high. We would be targeting the low. That's not good enough. We're too late. If we would have entered up here, we would have been okay. So now, unfortunately, we have to wait. Vox Tricks, welcome in, man. I just joined, didn't hear from the start. You see invalidation for this move as a wave 4 on BTC? No, it has not been invalidated yet, Vox Tricks. Actually, we're coming up to the key resistance that we've been looking at as a major potential. That 0.5 Fibonacci, which is also your anchored VWAP, right? So let's see, where was it? Right here. We're hitting that 0.5 Fibonacci perfectly on log scale. Now, on non-log scale, it's up at 75.1, which is also, because this move down, remember, guys, with a move to the upside, if it's more than 100% move to the upside, you want to take your Fibonacci and you want to put it on log scale to give you your proper 61.8% retracement. On 30% or more move to the downside, you want to take your Fibonacci and you want to put it on log scale to get your proper 61% retracement. This is a 33% move to the downside from 98K, or excuse me, from 90.5K to 60K. It's 33%. So it's right on that edge. It's over 30%, but not much over. So I'm looking at both the non-log targets and the log targets for this wave 4. But right now, we did see that 3-wave corrective move right up to that 0.5 Fibonacci. So if we start to reject here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, take out these lows, maybe come down to 57K. It's still a very big possibility. What will tell me that it's more probable we are rejecting here is if we fall back inside the volume profile and find reacceptance back inside of it. Then I would say, uh-oh, major dump coming. We're focused on the local price action right now because we still don't have enough data and enough clarity on the charts to know whether this is a double 1-2 impulse from Saturday's lows or if it's a corrective move that's going to be invalidated. And we should find that out today. If we hit 70,128 today, then I'm going to get a bit more bearish, guys. Can I look at U.S. crude oil? It's ripping. Yeah, we will look at that. What's the ticker symbol for that? If you give that to me, Peter, I'll look at that. Aren't we really just a tweet away about no tax on BTC crypto? Yes, but you could use that, John. You could use that both ways. You could say we're also a tweet away about, hey, we're gonna bomb Iran into oblivion or something like that, where it's gonna cause fear in the markets and cause them to dump. So yes, a tweet from the president can cause some pretty extreme volatility on the charts, or maybe it's a tweet from, you know, a different country responding to what's happening geopolitically that's going to cause that. But technicals first, and then we can also just pay attention to the macro news, macroeconomics, and macro politics, geopolitics to see what's kind of, you know, if it's going to cause a catalyst or not. Ronovic J. Sink, I'm sorry if I butchered that name. I'm sorry about it. Thank you so much for that comment, man. I appreciate you so much for being in here. Maybe 80K is the best level to sell BTC. Well, okay, so here's the thing. On Bitcoin, on the higher time frames, let me just go to the 2 hour. I'm going to hide this channel for a second. I'm going to clean up this chart. We are looking for, if we do start to break above our anchored VWAP, it is likely that we come up to the 78K level, because 78K, a daily level, a naked daily point of control. It's also a golden pocket up there. But if we look at our bigger volume profile, so I explained this in yesterday's video, but I'll take a second to explain this now. We have two ranges that, two primary ranges of the past 2 years. This was our very important range in 2024. It lasted about 8 months, and it was a reaccumulation range to break up to new all-time highs. And then this has been our range for all of 2025. This was a very key, important sideways range that we had for 2025. So when you start to lose the value area low, and specifically the lows of this range, and you start to break down and you break back inside your prior range, now the fair value for Bitcoin is no longer being priced. In this case, let's throw those on. Okay, the fair value is no longer being priced between $86,000 and $110,000, right? That was our fair value for Bitcoin in 2025. In 2024, our fair value was between $70,000 and $60,000. You can see when we lost this range, we dropped all the way down back into our 2024 range, and we bounced from the value area low exactly of your 2024 range. And so in some ways, that's the market saying we're no longer pricing the fair value of Bitcoin at 2025 levels. We're now coming back and retesting the 2024 fair value, and we're going to see if Bitcoin can hold the 2024 fair value, the undersold value, you know. And we did. We bounced from it, and we chopped around between the value area high and the value area low, and the POC, of course, too, for a month. So yesterday was the first breakout, really, of that previous 2024 range. But because we have found reacceptance back within our 2024 range, and we've been trading within it for a month now, what we can do is we can take these two ranges and we can combine them into one bigger range, because we found reacceptance back inside your lower range. And that's when you combine them together to make that one big range. And this is our new range here, right? So we were chopping around the POC for about a month. We're above it. Could we break up to the value area high at 96,000? Yes. But you look at this, you have two major volume nodes. You have a lot of volume here, and you have even more volume in your lower range. The 2024 range has even more volume than the 2025 range. But in between those two ranges, there is a giant gap in volume. There is no volume, a volume gap here. So if we do start to break up above this anchored VWAP, you could fill that volume, that low volume gap in here very, very quickly. And you would fill it right up to about, you know, 83,000, 84,000. But really the big level is that $86,000 value area low for this upper range. So because we do have this low gap in volume, we could explode up pretty aggressively through it. And also on the way down, a quick move down, there's not a lot of resistance except for at 78K. So you would, first of all, expect, if you break this anchored VWAP right here, you would expect to break up pretty damn quickly to 78K. You might see a small pullback from 78K to backtest that value, or that anchored VWAP, but then you would probably continue filling in this low volume gap here until you get up to the mid 80s, right? 83 to $86,000. And so yeah, that is something that we have to pay attention to here. Maybe, and so 80K, I would say, you said let's sell at 80K, but 80K, I would say if you're going to sell 78K rather than 80K, because that's where your naked daily, and your golden pocket is. But then if you break above 78K, you're likely to at least come up to backtest the value area low of this upper range. And if we turn on that all-time high range, you can see that value area low is pretty much at $86,000 there. So 86,000 might be the area, because here's the thing with volume profile trading or market auction theory. What we say with market auction theory is when you do, let me just hide this one. When you do break an upper range or any range to the downside with volume, you will often bounce from a key support below. And then if you come back up and you back test that prior value area low and you reject, now all of a sudden the market is saying we're no longer pricing the fair value of Bitcoin at these price levels, because you're confirming a bearish backtest, you're confirming a rejection. So you're very likely to come back into this range and still find the fair value within this range, but also sometimes you dump and even take out the lows from that. So $86,000 is going to be a very crucial backtest if we do get up there. We do have some targets in between, but we have to be careful here. And I think I know why you're saying $80,000, because if we pull our golden pocket here and we put on the log scale, so if you pull your golden pocket from 98K to 60K, that's more than a 30% drop. If you look at that golden pocket, it's really 81, 82K. But I think 78K is a little bit more important, because that's also our invalidation golden pocket. So if we pull our golden pocket from the highs of wave 3 to the lows of wave 3, look at where it's coming in at. Right? That's why our invalidation, and I got to make this a little bit. There we go. Let's just do this. 3, 3, 8. If we hit that 618, we invalidate this as a wave 4 corrective move. This we could no longer say is corrective move before dumping. We would have to say, okay, maybe the WXY is correct, and even this is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or even, coming up to 86K in a wave 5. So yes, well, we're just going to have to locally, what happens here, remember what happens here is super important. Just like what happened here was super important. And look at how it took us a few days. We kind of had the initial rejection. The next day was a red candle. And then 1, 2, 3 days or so we chopped. And look at, that was also around the same time. You had your green candle on Wednesday, your red candle on Thursday, Friday, Saturday were doji candles are very small candles. Sunday is when we started kicking in and dumping. Green candle on Wednesday, red candle on Thursday. If we continue to reject, we might see over the weekend, Friday and Saturday, just, kind of a small grindy move within this little area here. And then you could start to really see kicking Sunday or Monday. So very, very similar as far as the time of the week. Very, very similar as the bearish backtest of an anchored VWAP. Very, very similar in the corrective move that we saw. I mean, it's just eerily similar. And that is why I still have concern that this is a wave 4 before dumping. Actually, it's still my greatest probability scenario, in my opinion. Start to close candles above the anchored VWAP. That is when we can start to get more bullish. The purpose of flipping it to log scale at 100 plus and 30% is why, brother? Because if you're taking a fib, if you're on the logarithmic chart, here's a good example of that. I was just using an example. I think it was on Ethereum. You could see it very clearly because 61.8% is the golden ratio, right? The phi ratio. And an important it's psychologically ingrained in our minds. It's ingrained in nature. It's ingrained everywhere. And you do see traders, like, they'll get FOMO. Say we're pumping here and we're pumping up to the golden pocket between this high and this low. Right at that golden pocket, the FOMO will get too much for them and they'll long right into the golden pocket, also trapped. And then the traders that know what they're doing are shorting that golden pocket, and then it's fuel to go down, right? But just the 618 is a key psychological level. But let's look at this move on Ethereum from 1,400 to new all-time highs at like $5,000. If we pull our Fibonacci golden pocket from the lows to the highs and we put on our non-log golden pocket, it's at between 27.48 and 26.33, right? So now let me just do this. Let me pull this over a little bit and then we'll re-pull this over. If we look at, is that a proper 61.8% retracement, right? Because you're looking for a 61.8% retracement. Let me grab this trend line and we're going to go from the all-time high to that 618. And then we're going to go from the low to the 618. So is 61.8% retracement, this retracement should be longer than this, right? It's not. It's the other way around. This is about a 40% and this is about a 60%. So that retracement to that golden pocket's only about 40%. But if you shift it to log scale, it is going to shift your golden pocket to the proper level of a 61.8% retracement. So now if you pull this from the highs to the 618, the lows to the 618, you can see that it's the proper retracement, right? This is 61% drop. This would be 40% or 38%, you know. So that is why it just gives you the proper 61.8%. And you want to have the proper retracement level because that's what's psychologically ingrained in the human psychology. Now, sure, did this golden pocket work, the non-log golden pocket? Did you get a nice bounce there? Yes, you did, because a lot of traders will still long a golden pocket no matter what. You know, when they pull a golden pocket from high to low, they'll long it, or they'll have bots. We do have a lot of bot trading in crypto, and the bots will just long that, you know, they'll be programmed to long as soon as you hit a golden pocket, and maybe their bots are not programmed to change the golden pocket based off log scale. So I hope that helps a little bit. And it does play out. Trust me, I've seen the non-log golden pocket. You want to see an example of a log golden pocket that worked absolutely to perfection? Right here on AVAX. So we got our push down, our giant push down from December all the way to April. We got that push down. We bounced from the bottom of the pitchfork. Well, if you pull a golden pocket from that high to the low, you can see your golden pocket is at $39 to $41, way up here. That is way less. Look at this move from here to here, that, and then you go from the golden pocket all the way to the bottom. That is way more than a 61% retracement. That's like a 75 to 80% retracement, right? But if you shift that golden pocket based off log scale, it shifts it down to the proper 61.8% retracement. And where did we reject from? Exactly. You can see it here, exactly from our golden pocket. It also aligned the golden pocket with a lot of extra confluence. It aligned it with the POC of our previous range. It aligned it with our pitchfork band. It aligned it with a weekly level, a naked weekly point of control, and a liquidity grab that was in there. So it does work. Non-log golden pockets on high volatility. That's only if you're using the log chart, by the way. You don't want to, if you're not on the log chart, you don't want to use the logarithmic golden pocket, because the logarithmic chart is correcting and accounting for those large swings in volatility. All right, let me see what is going on here with Bitcoin. Man, we are really just chop city in here. Yes, I do have a Telegram channel. So the Telegram channel link is in the description below. It is a private community, but it's free for you to get into. So all you have to do to get into it is sign up with BYDFI using my affiliate link. It's a non-KYC exchange, so all you need is an email and a password. and then deposit $100 into it. But that $100 is still your money. You're not paying me to do that. You're just depositing the money in hopes that you will try out the exchange and like it. You could deposit the money into the exchange and pull it right back out right afterwards after you verify if you wanted to. I think that's not the most integrity thing to do, not the highest integrity thing to do, but technically if you wanted to do that, you could do that. So once you deposit the money into the exchange, and you can also deposit more than $100, the minimum is $100. But once you've done that, you can click the Telegram link and then you type in your user ID. And the reason why is because BYDFI is the one who set up the Telegram. They largely run the Telegram for me, the maintenance on that Telegram channel. So it's a partnership with them. But yes, I do have a Telegram. All right. Let's see here. CL1 exclamation mark. Crude oil futures. Okay. Wow, it is pushing. Jeez, almost up to $81 a barrel. Wow. I see this right now. You're breaking this trend, or you're trying to. Let's throw that. So you kind of had this corrective trend. You're breaking out of it with high volume. Very nice there. And I would even say, let's just look at on the weekly time frame. This looks clearly impulsive, like impulsive price action, right? Impulsive price action. You get your 3-wave corrective move. And now are we breaking up on the weekly time frame, a wave 1, a wave 2, and then you're in your big wave 3? Or you could say this is because you did retrace. Actually, that's a double bottom there. You wouldn't call that a wave 2. Then that might be some sort of flat, and you're starting your wave 1 here, breaking out in a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe to come take out these highs. Let's look at some. Let me just zoom out to the monthly time frame real quick. Did oil? Not sure what's going on with that wick there. Oil went negative. I remember that, actually. I do remember that. So what I would be looking at is this upper range. And this is on the monthly time frame. So you're going all the way back to 2007. So let's pull that range, that upper range here. And you're coming up to a very important value area high, a very high time frame value area high of the range. Let's also pull our golden pocket. Okay, and let me make sure this is not on log scale. You're hitting your golden pocket. You're near your value area high. You also have some very key monthly high liquidity in there. So let me zoom into the weekly. I would be careful of a pullback here, because when you break out of a descending channel like this, you will often, this is a liquidity trail that's been created, right? A bunch of stops above this high, a bunch of stops above this high, a bunch of stops above this high, and this high. So when you start to break it, you can often see this explosive cascade taking all those stops together. And you will often sweep the liquidity of the entire trend, that channel, up into the top until you sweep the liquidity at the highs of the trend. But when you break out of it, a descending channel like this on high volume, you will often come up and sweep at least the second pivot of the channel. And I would say this is like, these are internal highs in here. So I would call that is the second pivot. That's where I put the channel in there. And you're right now coming up and sweeping the highs of the second pivot of the channel into your golden pocket. So you are at a pretty big resistance right now. I would be careful with the resistance you're at. Could you wick a little bit higher to hit the value area high around like $83, $84? Yes, you could. Now remember, this value area high is a very high time frame, over a decade, almost 2 decade long. Value area high, volume resistance level. I want to check one thing here. Let's pull that trend base Fibonacci extinction. And we will take that here. Okay, no. We'll put that and we'll put on our 618. Did we hit the 618? Yeah. Okay. So in an ABC correction, your common targets are to come between the 1-to-1 and the 1.236, but your absolute minimum target is that 618, and you did hit that. So if this was a 1, 2, 3, here's your flat and a 4, and then you get your 5 right there. That's your 5-wave impulse. You kind of get your corrective move. We would have to, honestly, that looks a little bit impulsive too right there. So then you could say maybe this is the corrective move here, and then you get another push down. This is very hard to look like an impulse, though. You'd probably have to look at this as a WXY, but either way, WXY, you get your 3-wave corrective move in here, and then now are you starting to push up? What I would say here is you are breaking out of this channel with high volume, with a nice imbalance candle. Yeah, nice big spike in volume on the breakout of the past week. Let's go to the 2-day time frame. And I would be honestly looking at a couple things here. We could take another range of kind of this. You see you have this big push down to right here. That's kind of where that impulse finishes. We could look at this sideways correction after this grind down happened. You have this grind down, and then you kind of were going sideways for a while. Little bit of a deviation. So let's pull that range and look at your value area high of that range is right at your golden pocket, right where you're at now. That range goes back to May of 2023. So you are coming up into some really important resistance right now. Liquidity grab, golden pocket, value area high. We could even look at, let me do that, and we'll hide the bigger range in here. Man, we could start to look at a pitchfork here, but it's really sideways like this because this low is so close to this low. I mean, you could, if we're going to start a bullish trend, you could pull this pitchfork and start to look at your bullish trend, but because it's pretty much sideways, you're going to want to put on your original pitchfork. And let's go on to like the 12-hour chart. I mean, you are getting some respect. You bounced at the bottom. You rejected from the lower band, rejected. Finally were able to kind of break back into your volume profile, hold your value area low. You broke through the lower band. You back tested the POC. Also, that was the back test of the channel breakout. And now you're coming up and you're hitting into the golden pocket. It is a bit above the pitchfork midline, but this is what we're going to want to watch for on crude oil because you're coming up into liquidity grab, golden pocket, value area high. And so if you do start to now reject here and start to lose the pitchfork midline, that is where you could see a pretty decent dump. So you'd want to lose it, probably come up to back test it pretty immediately within the next week or so after losing it, within a week or so after losing it, and then dump. The money flow, I want to just go to the daily real quick here. Yeah, it doesn't look the worst, honestly. It looks pretty strong still. Money flow looks pretty strong here. Just crossing into the green on the 3-day and very strong on NAMI here. So what I would say with the high time frame money flow, which does give you kind of that overall trend, and you are breaking out of the descending channel, what I would suggest here is that you might see a small rejection from where we're at now from the liquidity grab and golden pocket. But if you do something like this, let me zoom into the 4-hour chart. If you do something like this where you're going to kind of grind down and hit that channel pitchfork midline around $78, $79, you could continue up here and you could come up to that $83 bigger value area high, that 2-decade long value area high. And then by then you might be seeing those bear divs coming in on the chart. What's going on with Biddy here? Yeah, all right, guys. So here's the cool thing that we're starting to see. You are starting to see that kind of dumpy price action is now starting to kind of go sideways here. You are starting to get that exhaustion in selling. It's a good sign that we're at least, if we come down, we take out that low again, you could see that exhaustion kind of play out, and then you could get the pump back up. So I am liking what we're seeing so far. And if we do get another low, probably in the next hour or 2 hours, it could give us a nice little multiple drives of bull div. We have bull div, bull div. You get another drive of bull div. I thought I had an alert on this guy. Okay, let me jump back into the chat here. Okay, we closed 15-minute candle below. Yes, we did. We are seeing a second rejection of that channel. I think that's what you're talking about. So I do believe we are going to come down and make new lows. Anyone else catch the small breakout here on SUI? I was using some change in one of my accounts. Naturally, it's up. SUI. I did not check SUI. Oh, nice little breakup. SUI is at that bigger resistance, guys, so be careful. We did create that lower high and now a lower low. It does look like it could be a nice little three-wave corrective move in here. Let's check that trend-based Fibonacci extinction. Yeah, you hit that 1.236 pretty much perfect. And now you're pushing up. And you can see the candle bodies even closed at that 1-to-1. If you start to break this VWAP, you're going to probably continue. If you start to close, I would say an hourly above the VWAP. Let me just make that. You can see that VWAP is where we're at now. So it would be key to really flip that VWAP again, because earlier today, we lost the VWAP, back tested the VWAP, lost the VWAP, back tested it. So as long as you can now on the 15-minute, you're breaking above it, you're back testing right now. I would like to still to be more conservative. You want to see that hourly candle close above the VWAP. But you have a nice little kind of sideways range. You could even look at this kind of sideways intraday range in here. Yeah, you're above the POC. You have front run the value area high. And if we pull this Fibonacci in here, this is just real small scalp stuff, guys. Actually, let's do it from the highs. Yeah, your golden pocket's coming up at that value area high. So you are coming into some resistance. If you're going to back test this on low time frames and hold it, you're at least going to come up here to hit that value area high. Could we look for a scalp off of this? Well, I don't like the way money flow looks right here, but let's just say you're going to long. I would say your stop would have to go below that POC. You're targeting that value area high. That could be a nice little scalp trade right there. Now, of course, you're not entering at the VWAP yet, right? You're up here, which makes it less of a good trade. And you don't have confirmation yet anyways. You'd want to wait for some confirmation to come in. But that's nice. You caught that little long position there. On the other hand, you do need to watch out for, actually you have overlap here between these lows and this high. So this looks corrective. I mean, this does look corrective. This looks like a three-wave corrective move in here, but you could also be seeing a three-wave corrective move here before seeing another three-wave corrective move and seeing that WXY play out. So I would really be watching for that rejection at like 97 cents-ish. And it's also kind of that bigger resistance area. Yeah, it's the percent that matters, which I totally agree. Yep, the percent is what matters, man. Yes. May be possible to make a big range to 55 to 126 range in summer consult. Yeah, it could. I mean, that's a pretty aggressive range from 55K to 126K. That is a, God, what, a $70,000 range. It's For just the summer, it's not likely to make such an aggressive range for the summer. Historically, every bear market year, first week of March is a big pump, then starts going back down to form new lows. Yes, you're right there. And we've not had, for the monthly time frame, we have not had 6 green candles in a row except for one time before. Let me go to, the index chart here. And in Bitcoin's history, we have not had 6 red monthly candles in a row except for one time. We've had 5, I think 2 times, and we've only had 6 monthly red candles in a row one time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. We got that. Then we got the 6 was green. 1, 2, 3 here. You got 1 green and then a couple more reds, but we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you see 5 red months in a row is a pretty extreme thing to see on Bitcoin. We might close this month green and then roll down next month. That's still a possibility. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Just like that. Gosh, have we even had 6 here? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's where it was. These 6 candles right here. That was in 2019, 2018. All right, the highest resolution I am getting is 360p. You should be getting much. I stream in 1080p, so you should be getting 1080p. Yes, Wednesday, Thursday highs, just like the last time. Yes, that is important. On Bitcoin, a lot of the weekly highs or lows are put in on Wednesdays, actually. If you look at Bitcoin historically, especially since 2020, a lot of those bigger swing highs and swing lows happen to be put in on Wednesdays. It's the middle of the week, and then you generally will correct for the next 2 days, kind of range. Now, this one was on a Thursday. This low at 60K was on a Thursday, but it does happen quite a bit, guys. That Wednesday is the high or the low. Tony CC, welcome in, man. I am doing well. Thank you so much for being here, dude. Can you call out the numbers? Oh, yes. Sirac, I will. I will call out the numbers for you. So sorry for seeing that so late. So what low are you looking to be taken out? So I'm looking at 70,592 to be taken out. It's an internal scalp low, a liquidity grab low. If we take out $70,592 on the Coinbase chart, SFP it, and then get back above, I'll look for a scalp long opportunity. And I'll look, I'll probably take, depending on how we move up, I'll pull the golden pocket from the highs to wherever those lows are going to be. And at this golden pocket, it would be around the top of the channel by the time you get up there. You'd probably see something like, come take out those lows, push up, back test, kind of push up here. You would be looking at coming up to that golden pocket at the top of the channel. I would take some profit around 72.8, 72.7. It'd be a TP1 depending on how we reject there, or I'd probably take out 25% there no matter what. But overall, if we SFP this low and start to get back inside the channel, I'm looking to take out your highs from yesterday into the anchored VWAP at 74,200. 74,230, let's say. Around there. Yeah, just respect the 4-year cycle. The 4-year cycle has never been proven wrong yet, but this is also the first time in Bitcoin's history where institutional money and spot ETFs have gotten involved where it could break the 4-year cycle. And it was our first time in the 4-year cycle where we actually had an invalidation because we did somewhat of an invalidation as far as breaking the all-time highs, your prior all-time highs before the halving. Usually you break it after the halving, I think. So when we pushed up here and we pushed up to 74K We broke it before the halving occurred. The first time you did that. And that was caused by the spot ETFs, BlackRock. So we've already seen signs that it could be broken. But yes, right now we would say it has not been broken. Man, we've been sitting here this entire stream waiting to get that trade in. Yeah, please hit this like button, guys. Please, if you learned anything from the live stream, or if you're just enjoying yourself, enjoying TA with the boys and everything, and girls, then hit the like button. I appreciate all of you for being in here, and I do appreciate all the kind comments and the support you guys give, and I just appreciate our community so much. All right, let me scroll up in the chat and see if I missed anything. Nothing much here. I want to check that Chainlink. All right, Chainlink is bouncing right now. So the big thing about Chainlink, MyGHK, is remember we were at the bottom of your pitchfork. You lost it. You backtested, rejected. We were backtesting it. Now, yesterday was the first time we really broke back into it and closed it significantly above it. Because this daily candle, yes, you closed above it, but you lost it immediately the next day. So we could do that again. We could lose it. But you see right now we're coming down to it and we're trying to hold it as support. And if we look at our larger range, let me just turn off these NPOCs. A 2-year range on Chainlink. So going all the way, this entire upper range in here. On Chainlink, we lost the POC of the range. No, not that range. I'm sorry. It's our even longer range than that. I do want to hide that one. This guy here. Yeah, so it's our 4-year long range going back to, or really 6 years long, our macro range going back to 2020. You can see that we came down, and if before, let me get to here. Hold on, what range were we looking at? There was a POC that we were rejecting from at the bottom of the pitchfork. That must be this range in here. No. All right, well, maybe that has shifted. But I would say if we look at that bigger range, you front ran it just a bit, but you are near major support. And if we start to get back inside of this pitchfork that's been highly respected, you could see a pretty significant push up to like these prior lows, all of this in here, coming up to like even close to $12, $11.90 to about $11.18. There's not a lot in this big drop down here. So if you really do start to break above kind of this resistance we're at now, you have a daily level just above us. I believe that hasn't been tapped. No, it hasn't. It was front run. So if you break above 980, man, you see clear skies for quite a while. Yeah, you might come up to this consolidation in here around $12, $11.90 to like $12.20. Naked dailies, couple naked weeklies, a daily level, a naked daily point of control, and the top of your pitchfork band. And then also, I believe it's that range right around the value area low of your upper range as well. Bitcoin's just playing with us, guys. This is slow and arduous. All right, Doge. Yeah, we can look at Doge. I already hit the like button. Yeah, thank you, XPR88. I appreciate that, man. All right, well, we'll look at Doge real quick. Well, I have alerts set, guys. I have alerts set on the low, so we don't have to worry too much about that. I haven't checked Doge out in quite a while. Yeah, the last time we came down, so on that October 10th dump, we did dump down to that bottom of the pitchfork in that spot buy area. Previous range value area high there. You can see that's your accumulation range. So you had accumulation range, the big expansion, and now we're dropping here. So the drop that we're seeing, is this going to be a larger three-wave corrective move? Coming back, you pretty much now did drop to the POC of your range. You did front run that POC just a little bit. I don't like how this wick in here, because you could say that's a 4 and then that's a 5, and you could see some sort of contracting diagonal in here. But you would have to include that wick. And I know this chart's messy. Let me just do a different chart. Okay, that's the same pitchfork we have. Actually, that's not the same pitchfork. But we did come down to the bottom of the pitchfork in the dump, and right now we're seeing that familiar chop you see in those bands. And I talk about this so much on the channel. Inside of these bands, you see this chop, this rangy chop. We're seeing something very similar with Ethereum right now in its band. But what I don't like about Dogecoin, first of all, you backtested your prior lows and you rejected here. That is not good to see, that backtested those prior lows and a rejection. But also the move up there was a very clear three-wave corrective move. We took out the local liquidity, and then you rejected, and I think that's probably an old weekly level. Let me double check on that. Yeah, that was a weekly support that is now being flipped to resistance on the daily time frame. So you can see that weekly, you busted through it, and then it acted as resistance. But because this move up was a three-wave corrective move, honestly, it is a little bit more likely that you do come down and take out this low. And so, you know, it's possible that you do see the three-wave corrective move. You get kind of that three-wave corrective move, and then you get one more three-wave corrective move and a WXY before dropping. So yes, could you come take out these highs before dropping? Absolutely, you could. Let me get rid of some of this old TA. We will now throw that there. That's going to be our daily level now. And then I would like to mark out that daily. And honestly, I would be playing this. Let me get rid of this for a second. I would be playing this sideways, this bottoming range, all the chop within the band. So this is the chop within the band, and you have one deviation above and one deviation below in that three-wave corrective move. But other than that, that's your sideways chop. So you want to just pull that volume profile. You rejected from the value area high on the pump on yesterday. You're coming down to the POC right now, which is also the bottom of the pitchfork band. So you would want to bounce here. If you don't bounce, I mean, the next low would be, of course, the next support level locally would be that daily and that value area low. That does look like a little nice support zone. And we can also look at our important naked daily points of control within here. Okay, you have one near the value area high from yesterday. And that's also going to be a naked weekly point of control right on top of that daily level. So that is actually becoming a really nice support level. That pretty much 90 cents, or 9 cents, 0.8997 is your daily, and it's also your naked weekly point of control and your value area low. It is going to be the 88 near the 886 Fibonacci. In sideways ranges, especially flat sideways ranges like this, you do get bounces from the 886. So that would be the support that I'm looking at. If you lose where we're at right now, it's kind of this 9 cent level. Let me just pull that one more time. And is the golden pocket at the POC? Yeah, so we are bouncing from POC, golden pocket, and the bottom of the pitchfork band. You do have some slight bull divs on the chart. Actually, no, these aren't bull divs on market cipher B because that's not a low. That's the wick low. But this looks corrective. I mean, like you get your big push down here, but other than that, this all looks a lot of grindy overlap in here. You know, that might be like that overall 3-wave zigzag move down. No bull divs because you did not take out that low, but you do have some nice trigger waves and money flows just crossing into the green on the 5-minute. I would honestly look for a move up to the VWAP around 0.9587 or let's just say 0.9585. If you reject here, you probably are going to at least come take that low, those double bottoms, or you might drop to that 9 cent area. But that 9 cent area is looking nice. A naked weekly point of control right on top of that daily level. Jesus Save 77, God bless you, and thank you so much for being here. It's always good to see you in here. I already hit the like, okay, yep, ADA. Yep, we can look at ADA. I see an upside down head and shoulders on Bitcoin, an inverse head and shoulders. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, but you still haven't broken market structure bullishly in this. So in order to see a real nice inverse head and shoulders, you'd want to come down, see that left shoulder, you break down, see the right shoulder or the head, and then you want to break market structure here by taking out that high, even if it's just like a little SFP. And then when you come down for your right shoulder, it's more likely to play out because you saw a bullish break in market structure here, right? But if you do not break it, if you continue to kind of make lower lows and lower highs, it's less likely that you could start to even form some sort of triangle in here, right? That they often form. Let's see. Okay, and another thing on an inverse head and shoulder, you can turn on your volume, and you want to see volume decreasing as the left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So we do actually see nice volume confirmation here. Volume is decreasing as the left shoulder, head, and right shoulder is forming. Very nice. You did have the bull divs coming into the head. Bull divs. Bull divs. Money flows now curving nicely to the upside. So yeah, I mean, it does look pretty decent here. The only thing that I would say is a concern is that non-break in market structure, but doesn't look the worst. Let me throw on that 1.236 again. Let's see if we're bouncing from that. Where was that? Let's throw that over. We didn't. Yeah, okay. Not quite. You are bouncing between the golden pocket and 786 level, which is where your right shoulder would want to bounce. So I would say the neckline, if you're going to say this is an inverse head and shoulders, this is kind of your neckline. So if you start to break back in the channel, of course, you could break this thing up. So you could pull your target and look at this as just as far as pattern trading goes. Take that, throw that on the breakout. Yeah, breaking up towards the VWAP. Because if you do break into your channel, you're very likely to come to the VWAP. Let's see. Yeah, absolutely. Blidurum stat. Thank you, man. Thank you for being here. Everything's going down again, I reckon. We're at crucial resistance as far as the higher time frames go, but we don't have enough data yet because we haven't invalidated the potential of this being an impulse from Saturday's lows, right? Because we could be seeing the 1 2 1 2. You got your big third wave. We could be in a 4 right now, coming down to the 1 to 1 to the 1.236 before seeing a 5, and then maybe even one more 4 and one more 5 to kind of end, you know, this impulse here. If you do hit $70,128, you will invalidate it. So we're watching locally right now to see if this is a 3-wave corrective move. If it is, we're likely to come take out the high from yesterday. And what will tell me confirmation, because we are bouncing with some low time frame bull divs right from our target zone. I would like to see a break back into the channel, and I am concerned that we front ran this liquidity here. You can see that key liquidity, internal liquidity that we did front run. Another thing we could do if we're looking at low time frame scalping is we could pull a volume profile of this mini upper range. You could look at this as a sideways range that's developing at resistance. So pull the volume profile of that sideways range. We're below the value area low, and that's also going to be right where that channel is, right? So until, actually it's a little bit above the channel, but as long as you're below the value area low, you're going to struggle here. You can even see we lost it. Immediate back test rejected, so you expect new lows. We got the new lows. Now we come in for a higher time frame back test, reject. Because you rejected, you expect new lows. Okay. And now we're even just trying to reject the bottom of the channel. I just haven't seen enough to long yet, guys. And I know we are getting a nice little green candle on this 12-minute time frame. Last 30 minutes, it's a nice little green candle. But for me, I'm not interested yet. I want to see a little bit more. Did another scalp on ICP. Nice, man. Yeah, just exactly. Don't get too greedy with it, right? Like some people will overtrade a crap load in a single day, and then they start to make mistakes or start to get kind of confident, and their risk management goes out the window. Let's look at our order flow. What is happening here? Yeah, we are seeing some longs stepping in, but it's on a decrease in open interest. So this sideways grind we're seeing, market buys are coming in, but it's not fresh positions that are opening. It's a little bit concerning. I wouldn't say it's a squeeze necessarily. Yeah, you did have in this move up, the initial low here, you did see some fresh longs coming in there. So you could, what you're seeing is potentially a squeeze of the longs that longed in here now getting stopped out. That's what this has been, but it's not a strong move yet. It's not a strong move yet. Yeah, no joke. Come on, just sweep 70,500 or 70,600-ish so we can get this long. It seemed like the last couple of streams, we've just really had super crappy price action during the streams. I believe it was like that on Tuesday as well. I want to see now if we're going to see another rejection from the channel again. If we are, you know, I did expect us to take the lows after this rejection, though, and we didn't. We bounced from our golden pocket. We are crossing up into the green again on money flow. Money flow looks decent on the 1 minute. This is just the 1 minute, guys. So you could watch for even that 1 minute SFP fake out back inside the channel. If you SFP and lose it, you could see that dump. I mean, dump on 1 minute. This actually looks kind of like a 1 minute contracting diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're getting that contracting diagonal coming in here. That's 1 minute though, guys. So don't really take that into consideration. ETH is trying to go. Yeah, ETH and Bitcoin. Now, ETH, on the other hand, is about to break market structure bullishly. If we can take out that high at 2093, you will have a bullish break in market structure. We did front run that a couple hours ago or an hour ago. And ETH, you were back testing your value area high. Let's zoom out onto the 1 hour and you'll see that value area high. Let me get that range on the chart. Back testing value area high. And this is of that entire month-long sideways range. So you broke out, you're back testing it. It's going to be very interesting to see if we can change market structure bullishly and then see a retracement. I will potentially look for the long because this does look like a 3-wave corrective move to back test the value area high, and then you're going to come up. Oh my gosh. Let's see what happens, guys. Let's see what happens. Bitcoin is rejecting from the channel again. Trying to. What's up, Abe? C9B. It's good to see you in here. All right. Yes. Let's see if we get this red candle close like is a bullish engulfing. Bearish engulfing, excuse me. Yes, fruit miss. The thing is, patience is a big part of trading. Literally, like when you just want to enter a trade for hours and you're sitting here for hours waiting and waiting and waiting and you get frustrated. Like that is part of the psychology of trading, is knowing when to sit on your hands and be patient even when it's hard. So yeah. All right, let's wait this 1 minute. I will check gold in just a second. Let's wait this 1 minute. It looks like we are going to get a bearish engulfing candle here. And then let's come down and take out the low. But what we're seeing with this kind of chop that we're seeing here is looking pretty nice. Actually, we could even look at a very low time frame. We'll make that one blue so you guys see the difference. It's just really a lot, and there's not any real significant new traders entering the market right now. I mean, the open interest is just continually dropping here. Not the best thing to see. And actually, we're creating some bearish CVD divergences here. If you look at the lower highs in the price action, higher highs in the CVD. Now it's on a decrease in open interest. So it's not bearish absorption we're seeing, but it is bearish CVD divergence, which is a warning sign, which means that we could come down and take out that low. But you are seeing that bearish CVD. We did close that 5-minute candle back inside of this blue channel, this small 5-minute blue channel. Yeah, biggest enemy is patience. I get that, dude. What am I doing with my psychology when it comes to trading? You just got to be disciplined, man. Like I try my absolute hardest not to enter a trade that I do not have planned, right? For most of the day, I've been planning to enter this SFP if we get it. Or if I see some sort of break in market structure, then I can reevaluate and create a new plan. But we haven't seen a break in market structure bullishly, and we haven't got down to that low. So I wait. Like you just have to be patient and wait. Have that discipline to stick to what your plans are. So I got into Ethereum right on time, seemed, then it faked out of its SFP. So my entry is actually kind of at limbo. It could go stop me out or launch up. She did already. So you're long on Ethereum. Where are you long from? And you now have sort of a triple top in here. The second Ethereum can take that high, maybe coming up to VWAP, and then retrace down to your golden pocket, I would look for long. Like, yeah, you have liquidity, your value area low right in there. So that could be a good long around 2070, and that's also going to be your value area high again. And that would be a good example of kind of like that left shoulder head, and if you come down, right shoulder after the bullish break in market structure. Can we consider a bear flag? Are you talking about like a 5-minute bear flag on this thing? Man. So generally with a bear flag, you want to see that dump, and then you want to see that corrective channel to the upside, you know, which is you get that corrective channel in here, and then it continues to break down. You do see bear flags where you get the grind at the bottom, but generally, if you see a big dump down and you start grinding sideways, those descending channels actually have a higher likelihood of breaking up. So yes, you could say it is, but to me, this is, you get your big initial dump, you know, and then now we're starting to kind of grind sideways in here. And you could even pull this channel a little bit different. You could pull this channel to this high right there. And then, so you see your initial dump down, and now we're starting to grind sideways like that. So once again, if we break back inside of the bigger pink channel, and that would be us breaking out of this corrective exhaustion grind, big move down. Now we're starting to exhaust more sideways. If you break out here, you can break inside, close, and then back test. We could look for the long on the back test. You're from India. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for joining, man. That's really cool. It's awesome that we can have people join from all around the world. Floating just over your ink tree. I might jump out and wait for that confirmation, which I thought gave on the BitUnix chart. 2086. Okay. Yeah, just watch for the SFP of these highs at like 2093, because yeah. You already confirmed some low time frame bear divs. I mean, I don't know. Okay, so if you're at 2086, you entered right there. So I guess you could be looking at, like, you longed at like 2086, this low pretty much. Man, your stop would go below that higher low. And then, gosh, yeah, that's not a good trade. But like, if you're just even targeting the golden pocket of this move, your golden pocket's going to be coming in right at that pitchfork band pretty much. So that's a decent scalp opportunity, almost a 2.5-1 risk reward ratio. And then you could, you know, if you take out that low, which is right at the value area high, let's see what we get here. You are now coming up and pretty darn close to taking out that high. Wow. Oop. Is Bitcoin? Money flow doesn't look bad on low time frames, but let's see if we do reject here. Let's check out Bitcoin dominance real quick, and we'll check out USDT dominance too. Wow, Bitcoin dominance took out our range, those internal lows, actually this low on Tuesday, and now we're pushing up pretty aggressively. But we're still kind of just chopping in this sideways range, rejecting that POC. Honestly, for Bitcoin dominance, I still am hoping to come down to that 57% area, or even the 55.5% or 55.3, because we had our huge trend. So for Bitcoin dominance, most of the cycle, you can see coming back all the way to March of 2023, we were chopping up, and Bitcoin was the star of the bull cycle, right? We had one deviation of the channel, but we bounced from the weekly channel midline. But we did finally come up and hit the top of the channel right here, bounced from the midline, took the liquidity, and then we tried to hold the bottom. we lost it for the first time in like 3 years, almost 2.5, 3 years, right? So that loss right here was an important loss. And after losing it, we did come down. We hit the golden pocket in this area, came back up, back tested the channel, and now we're just grinding sideways. So, but I do still think we could see that dump and a drop to 55%, which would be a little bit of a cause for alt season. But we're just not getting it. We have just this kind of sideways crap range in here. And so you just look at trading the range until it breaks. We're back inside the range. We just pumped up to the point of control. Are we going to come take out the highs again? Just like we did last time. Like we were looking at this as a rejection. We were looking at this as a support. Then you came up, you SFP'd the highs. And as far as USDT dominance pushed up, remember we were looking at this sort of bull flag. You had this big bull flag. It broke out and we took out this internal liquidity in here. So we had 2 bull flag measurements. The more conservative one was just taking it from this kind of this straight up pull here. And then this one is the longer one from this low, from the 886 tap. But if you look at this bull flag breakout, you pretty much broke right up to that target, taking out these internal highs. And now we're seeing that corrective move. But it's likely that we are going to eventually come take these dual highs up here at 9.5%. And actually, we could see, let me just get rid of that for a second. We were looking at this. First of all, you can see here, this is kind of like accumulation in here. Tap 1, tap 2, tap 3. That's your accumulation range. And you're breaking out of your accumulation range. You're in expansion phase. You're in your expansion phase. After taking out some very key internal liquidity, you're going to see a retracement. But if we're looking at this expansion, a wave 1, wave 2, now your wave 2 did retrace to the 886, which is very uncommon for a wave 2, but it doesn't invalidate it. And then your wave 3 pushed up, most likely ended. So now we're looking for a wave 4 retracement. You're going to go from the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3. And you're looking to retrace between the 382 and the 0.5 Fibonacci. And I do like this 0.5 Fibonacci a lot. And you can see we also have a box of support there. You have a range in here. So you're going to have a POC in here to look at. It's also the value area high of your prior breakout range, this bottoming range. But yeah, we could see USDT continue to break down for a bit, which would mean that Bitcoin and altcoins are going to break up. Let's just look at this upper range that we've been creating here. Yeah, it's starting to get dicey with us breaking down below the value area low. If you do this back test and then start to reject, that means that we could see USDT dominance dropping and Bitcoin and the alts starting to pump. So what I like to look at with USDT dominance and with Bitcoin dominance is if Bitcoin is coming up to a support level, 70,000, the $70,500 support level, and USDT dominance is coming up to backtest that value area low, and say Bitcoin's coming down to SFP this, right as USDT dominance is backtesting the value area low and rejecting, then that means you could see some really nice, confluence. Another kind of rejection on Bitcoin, guys, starting to occur from that breakdown. Overall, what we're seeing here is we lost this descending channel, and we're trying to get back in it. We can't get back in it. So is it likely we come down and take the lows of this little consolidation range? I think it is. You could bounce always from the value area low. So this is like scalping. Remember, low time frame scalping again. So yeah, I mean, coming down to, you know, $70,800. If we bounce, you have that internal liquidity in there into that value area low. It's just untradeable to me right now, guys. I mean, sure, you could keep trying to short the rejection of the channel. Like you could have shorted upon the rejection, like maybe after that first candle close, stop, go above that high, and then you'd be targeting that low. But look at your money flow on NAMI. It looks pretty strong on the 5-minute. No bear divs. Yeah, thank you, Mind Tapestry. Thank you for tuning in. Guys, I will be live again tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I did start a little bit early today because I was hoping gosh, the start of the stream, we were hoping that we would get into this. And it's been like 2 hours now, and we're still just chopping and chopping. Yeah, this is definitely micro scalp. The thing is, the volatility could kick in at any time. So you have to make sure if you're micro scalping, you do have your stop losses set. Ethereum did get that SFP of those highs. Okay, that's actually pretty nice. Stop above this high. Let's see if we're just targeting. Ah, dang. That would have been nice. So now that we've got the bullish break in market structure on Ethereum, I mean, that golden pocket would be pretty nice to come down to. The one thing I would worry about here, and I know this is 5 minutes, so Elliott wave kind of breaks down under 15-minute, but if this is a 3-wave corrective move, you just SFP the highs, you could come down again. But knowing that we're at the macro value area high, back testing it, if we do come down there again and start to bounce from this golden pocket, I would potentially look for a long from that golden pocket. Hopefully Bitcoin's taking the SFP of the lows at the same time. I'll set an alert there. Pretty much at 2070. At 2070 into your value area low, which is going to be around 2067. How does our 1 hour time frame look? Yeah, money flow is, you can see here on Market Cipher, money flow's kind of back in the green. We did get that green dot. And on NAMI, it's curving up pretty nicely. And the 4-hour money flow is starting to try to roll up again, and it is rolling up with a green dot. So yeah, I think that Ethereum might be able to bounce from this value area high bullish backtest and continue to break up here. The one thing, you do have the overlap. once again, thinking in terms of Elliott waves, you have overlap. So you would have to say this is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you're going to hopefully get your third wave explosion, and then you would look for some 4 5s in here. Or you would have to say this is some sort of contracting diagonal that's, man, even that, it doesn't look good. Let's pull our parallel channel. I'm just going to hide this, but the alert will still go off. We can get rid of this now, too. Yeah, and let's watch for that rejection from the VWAP. Because we did front run the VWAP 5 minutes ago, or 10 minutes ago. Appreciate it, Sergio. Yeah, man, this is boring. I understand, guys. This is boring AF right now, but I wish we had more to do or talk about during this stream. The thing is, if Bitcoin does start to lose this SFP and not take it, like not see a confirmed trade from here, pierce below and start to get back above, and we do come down and hit this, it's going to change a lot for the macro. So that's why we have to concentrate on Bitcoin so much right now. And if Bitcoin is really going to start to roll over from that VWAP touch, then the altcoins are going to get pretty aggressive too. So we don't want to see, we really want to pay attention to what's happening with Bitcoin right now. What's up, Normal Swede? Welcome in, man. It's good to see you in here. Yeah, thank you guys all so much for your support and for being here. You know, it's your time as well as my time. So appreciate all of you guys. Crypto Wanderer, thank you. 7,300 looks juicy for along with an SFP. Yeah. Actually, 7,300 is, yes, you wouldn't tap that yet, that 128. You do not want to tap 120, 70, 128. All right, ETH, what are you going to do here? So another rejection, it's looking like. One, two, 1, 2, 3. Actually, let's see here, because you could say this could all be 3. Because you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would make 3 the shortest wave, though. You can't have that count. Let's check our order flow. What's this? Still just dropping on open interest. And remember, we do have those bearish CVD divergences in here coming in. Still continuing to build bearish CVD divergences here. It could be a triangle, absolutely. And remember, a triangle is a continuation consolidation pattern. So if you are seeing that triangle, let me just go on this chart for that. If we are seeing a triangle in here, you dumped into it, so you do have kind of a higher probability of dumping out of it, right? Starting to form that triangle in here. But what we would like to see then on these triangles is when you dump into it, you consolidate, continuation, consolidation. You're likely to continue. What would be nice is to see the fake out, grab the lows of the triangle and the lows below us, and then get that push back up through it. And that would give you potential for a nice little retail fake out, pattern trading fake out there. This is just such a mess, though. Look at 1 minute bull divs starting to play out. Money flow's coming back up. 1 minute bull divs. Yeah, it is nice to watch the thought process and also to understand, like, sometimes it's like this. It's boring as crap, and you're sitting here watching the charts just like waiting so close for your target, but it's just not coming down to that target. And that is part of the psychology of trading, is just sitting there and just waiting. Yeah, could you try to scalp inside of this? Sure, you could. For me, like, it depends on if you want to take the most probable trades. And even in scalping, like, these aren't high probability trades. So I just, there's so much that can happen within this little space here. Say you shorted here, it drops just a little bit, and now you're starting to pump again, and you're like, okay, am I going to get stopped out on this? To me, it's not the highest probability, so I'd rather wait for the guaranteed trades. And not, in some ways, if you try to overtrade, you're gambling with your money in some ways. The more times you trade, the more times you have to, possibilities you have to lose that trade as well. It's really about capital preservation, right? So you're wanting to take the good trades, the more probable trades. Yeah, rejected value area high, came down to POC, saw a nice strong bounce from POC. After bouncing from value area low. Man, it's just boring. Let's look at Solana real quick. Solana was coming down to its value area high as well to backtest that. Now, Solana did see a nice little liquidity grab of the range highs yesterday, or sort of a liquidity grab of the range highs. Again, on the Saturday lows, you do have overlap between these highs and the current lows that we're seeing. And could you say this is some sort of contracting diagonal? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a contracting diagonal? Yes, you could. You have kind of this contracting diagonal, and it broke out just a little bit from that contracting diagonal, and now you're dumping. But if this was a contracting diagonal playing out to end it, then you would expect this to impulse down, at least to your golden pocket area. Yeah, and there's nothing too much as far as naked daily points of control down there, but let's pull. Yeah, I do like that daily level in that golden pocket. And then if you even wicked past it to grab this liquidity, that would be acceptable. So we can set an alert on this daily for possible long if dibs. I mean, I do, look at the way that market cipher B looks here. Money flows curving up very nicely. Momentum wave bottoming out, green dot on the back test of the value area high. So that does look pretty nice right there. And you did come down between your 1-to-1 and your 1.236. So that, yeah, man, I would say, let's see if we can bounce. Let's see. Guys, remember, if you do want to join the Telegram, all you have to do is sign up with BYDFI using my affiliate link in the description and then deposit $100 into the exchange. You'll get 20% discounts on trading fees. You can deposit more as well if you want to get higher discounts on trading fees, but the minimum deposit's $100. And then you can, if you KYC, you can get that 50% deposit bonus. And once you've done that, click the Telegram link and type in /verify in your BYDFI user ID, and it will get you into the Telegram. And once you're in, you're in. And the thing with the Telegram is that money is not, you're not paying that money to me. That's money for you. You're depositing on the exchange for you to try out the exchange, to try trading on it, to see if you like it. You'll see the great discounts. Those fees add up, guys. So if you get 20% discounts on trading fees, that's huge. That's much bigger than a lot of exchanges even offer to their like VIP 3 users. So like BYDFI's been so great. The order books are so clean and so good. I love this exchange. It's been great for me. Awesome. Yeah, let's see. I mean, maybe Bitcoin is going to not take that liquidity and continue up. It's looking like it wants to. We need to see some longs coming in on our order flow. I want to see some fresh longs coming in here. If we're going to break this, because we still do have the bearish CVD divergences. You are seeing the bearish CVD divergences here. It's on a nice, huge drop in open interest, though, so it's not as strong. Remember, bearish absorption plays out, 75 to 85% of the time. And what a bearish absorption is, it's the CVD divs that are bearish, but your open interest is increasing. So you're absorbing those short position or those long positions, right? In bearish CVD divs, you're absorbing all the long positions and it would cause you to dump. It's used for fuel. But on a decrease in open interest, you can't have absorption unless you have new positions to absorb. And we're just not seeing the open interest cooperate with us. But it is still bearish CVD, and that's another reason why I haven't quite longed yet, even though we're kind of seeing this push up and it's looking like it wants to break this, is because when you see this, and it could do something like this as well, guys, just break up and take some internal liquidity and then roll right back down. But not fully take, everything here. But we are building a liquidity trail for sure. Liquidity. Gosh, let's look at this. It's so boring on the hourly chart. Ugh. we could get some bear divs coming in too if we break this high. So once again, watch out for those liquidity grab fake outs in here because of the bearish CVD divergences. So we could be like breaking back in. Oh, what? We're finally breaking back into the channel. We're finally breaking market structure. Boom, just to see us crash back down. $68.8 looks nice. It's a daily level in the 786. Yeah, 68. So you would be falling back inside your volume profile. You can see if you come down 68.8, 68 like to 69K, you do have a golden pocket in there. And you do, so if you pull that golden pocket from the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3, you know, 69, closer to 69,000, but your POC is there. Your daily level, I thought that was at 68.3. Oh, wait. Hold on. Are you talking about daily open or a confirmed daily level? No, you don't have any confirmed. Your daily level is going to be at 68.350. Right here. 335, excuse me. 68.335 is that daily level. Now, you do have that daily order block right here that, yes, the top of the order block is coming in at that pretty much 69K area. You can see big green candle, red candle, big green candle. So that order block there. If you do come down, you could tap the top of the order block with the POC in the golden pocket, but it would invalidate this move up as an impulsive move up. So you could still bounce from that, but it would be overall more bearish than seeing this impulse continue as a double 1-2. Let me just add this to my chart here. So what's up, Crypto Clown World? Welcome in, man. Where you think BTC will go in the upcoming 2 days? Honestly, that is the question we're trying to answer right now. So if we're in this impulse, it is very key what is happening on this pullback from yesterday's high. First off, we did front run a couple anchored VWAPs, like the important exchanges. We did front run some of the anchored VWAPs. But if we're looking at the impulse, 1, 2, 1, 2, this is your 3. We did come down to our targets in a 4. We could get a 5 and then another 4 and another 5. You could come up to 75K plus. I think it was on Binance okay, we hit the anchor VWAP on Binance, but on one of the exchanges, yeah, Bybit, your anchored VWAP is at 75, 150-ish. So could we see that continue? We're in the 4 right now. We get the next 5 to hit the Coinbase anchored VWAP. Then we get another 4, and then we get another 5, and we end around 75.1. That would be the end of this impulsive move to the upside. Yeah, and then you would want to really see a 3-wave retracement to your golden pocket area, which would also kind of be near the value area low of the big range. And then you might continue to break up here. Or you don't even have to come down to to golden pocket. You could come down to the 382. Yeah, and that would make sense in some ways because your value area high is going to be a little bit below that. just a little bit below that, but that's around this area. If you continue up to this anchored VWAP and finish the impulse, then you could just come back down to back test that now on a higher time frame before continuing up to 78. Man, oh man, it's just very choppy right now, guys. Very choppy. Still decreasing in open interest. Not the greatest thing to see. On the other hand, with that question, coming couple days, if we hit our invalidation at 70,128, it's likely that this push up that we've seen is not as bullish as we thought. Our push up from Saturday is not as bullish as we thought. And we could drop all the way down. You know, we could see a significant drop. Now, in the next 2 days, no, we're probably not going to see a significant drop going into the weekend, right? It's probably just going to get back inside of our range here and continue to grind within our sideways range. But let's talk in terms of volume profiles. You have this volume profile that we've been in for the past. Just get rid of that. That's theoretical. Let's get rid of that. You had your volume profile you've been in for a month. You broke out of it and you closed the daily candle above it yesterday. Now we are around that key resistance. But if you can see that three-wave corrective move coming down and back testing it, you might be able to get that new high coming in, right? Because it's just volume profile trading. When you break a range, you'll often reject from a local resistance, back test it, and if you hold the back test, you do expect to continue pushing up to make new highs. And at least on Bybit's chart, you can see the value. Even if we came down to the value area high, we would not have overlap. It's freaking close, but you would not have overlap. Now, on the Coinbase chart, it's like pretty much right at it. Actually, just a bit above it. What should I do with a Dogecoin, long or short it? Like, are you talking about a scalp trade? Or are you talking about a day trade, a swing trade? Like what time frame are you talking about? Like how big of a move? Dogecoin is coming down to your point of control of this smaller range. You're also kind of backtesting the value area high of your accumulation range from a year and a half ago. Let me just hide this to get this confusion out of the way. But if you're looking at this sideways range that you're at, you're ranging within your pitchfork band. You're coming down to backtest the bottom of the band and your POC, but you did reject from the value area high there. Now, if you longed the POC, that's a decent, you know, let's say you got in a little bit lower here. Stop would go below that low from earlier today. And you could even just target the golden pocket of the move up. Because your golden pocket's going to be around the top of the pitchfork band. So, you know, that's a nice scalp trade right there. But Dogecoin, this is just, you're trading in a sideways range. So knowing that you rejected so strongly from the value area high suggests that the market is still considering the fair value between the value area low and the value area high. And right now, you're pretty much at your fair value for the past month and a half of Dogecoin. You are seeing a decent reaction here. And I think we had some low time frame divs on this thing. No, not really. You did in some ways between this low here and this low. You can see you do have some bull divs in there. You also have the money flow bull divs coming in. It does look decent for a move up, at least a little bit of a move up. But once again, here's the thing with the VWAP. The VWAP, volume weighted average price, we've been in a downtrend for the past 24 hours. You can see we lost it, rejected, tried to push above, you couldn't, and now we're dropping below. So if you do come up here and reject that VWAP again, you are expecting to come down and take out at least today's lows. Is this a Bart Simpson head and shoulders on the 15-minute on recent move for Bitcoin? Okay, let's see here. Let's go to Bitcoin, 15-minute. A Bart Simpson pattern. Head and shoulders on the 15-minute on a recent move up for Bitcoin from now. What? Is it a Bart Simpson? I wouldn't say it's a Bart Simpson pattern just yet. If this was a Bart Simpson pattern in here, you would expect this to continue breaking down with increased volume on the charts. So you would turn on your volume here and look at as we're breaking down. So you got the big strong push up. Now these last highs were made on decreasing volume. So that should have told you yesterday we were getting closer and closer. And you also were confirming bear divs on the chart. Bear div, bear div, bear div, but your money flow was still strong. So until that started to top out and it actually hit the anchored VWAP on some exchanges up here with bear divs, as you were making new highs, volume was decreasing. You should have known that the move was coming to an end yesterday as we were coming up to that 74K area. But as you were grinding down all last night, it was still on decreasing volume. Showing, and there's a bunch of overlap in here, showing this is a corrective move, right? Corrective move. Then you push up, depending on where you're at in the world, very early in the morning. You get that 3-wave corrective move. You reject from your golden pocket 786 area. And that's when now you can expect, is this going to be a larger 3-wave move? You know, a larger A, B, C. And that's why this morning when I was looking, I pulled my trend-based Fibonacci extinction and said, okay, where's the targets for that ABC? We're coming into those targets now. We just hit the 1.236 at the beginning of the stream. Oh, give me a second, guys. My mouse just died. All right. Did it just... All right, guys. Sorry, give me just a second here. There we go. All right. Yeah, so you come down, you're hitting your 1.236. As you're coming down, you're seeing actually, especially within this chop, your volume is decreasing here in the chop. So, but I would also say you are seeing your volume decrease on this small move up. Volume decrease. It's just very, now we're finally breaking market structure. Okay, we're starting to see a push here. Broke back inside of the channel, finally with that little bit of volume right there. Or a little bit of a imbalance there on the 5-minute. So let's see if we start to lose this high, it could get bad. And specifically now, if we lose the channel again, it could get real, you know, we could see that dump down. Money flow does look pretty good on the low time frames. And I bet you ETH's breaking out too. Yeah, be careful for ETH. It's coming up to your midline and your VWAP here. We have about a minute, and if you don't SFP this in a minute, I'm looking at the 5-minute candle close, then we are likely to continue up here. And let's look at our, ooh, okay. So see that big drop in open interest compared to the rest of them? It is a little bit of a short squeeze, which, gosh, we didn't even really have that many shorts coming in. I guess we did have some. This is all noise, guys. This is all super low time frame noise. But the Bart Simpson, I would say no, because you'd want that to really break down in a Bart Simpson pattern. You'd want to break this upper range down, and you'd want to break market structure of this move up. So that key low, you'd want it to break, and you wouldn't have wanted to SFP it. You would have wanted to keep going. You know? Can BTC backtest and reject the low of April 7th, 2025? Or isn't that a valid setup? So April of 2025. In here, April. Yeah, could we backtest that low? You absolutely could. So actually, that's a very valid and smart question there. Very valid and smart question. Because here's the thing. You had this upper range for all of 2025, right? You broke the value area low of the range down. As soon as you break that down and start closing daily candles below the value area low, now you're looking at grabbing the liquidity of the range low. But if you don't see the SFP there and then a push to try to get back in the volume profile, then you're actually breaking the range down. So when you break the range down with high volume like we do, oftentimes you'll bounce from a support, which we are bouncing from our 2024 value area low, and you can see a corrective move either to backtest the prior lows or to backtest the value area low. But a very good example of this was on XRP just recently. XRP had this big sideways range, very similar to Bitcoin, for almost all of 2025. We broke it down. We dropped to a key, like little internal support level. And then what happened? We saw a 3-wave corrective move to backtest not the value area low of the range, but the range lows. And you backtested it and you rejected. And then we kind of continued to grind down here. So, and because this was a 3-wave corrective move up, technically you do have a higher probability of taking out this low here. And you rejected on the bearish backtest of that prior low. So yes, you're absolutely right there. That is a good level to be looking. And that also just happens to be where we're at right now, right? That's your value, your anchored VWAP. You can see 74.4-ish, anchored VWAP, value area low. So yes, absolutely, man. Because if you do see that kind of overall 3-wave corrective move reject from this area, you would expect to roll down. And it's a zone, right? Like just like here on this anchored VWAP from the all-time high, you pushed past it almost $1,000. You saw that wick past it. So could we wick past this value area or this anchored VWAP to hit that and roll over? Or could you even wick up a little bit past that low, just like XRP did, and then end up closing that daily candle below? Yes. Very valid, though. Very, very valid question. Very good analysis there. Thanks. Why I always trade Doge with high leverage is you never know when Elon comes and shouts Dogecoin to the moon. True, Crypto Mafia, but also there could be a tweet that causes it to drop as much. So I guess, yes, as long as your risk management is good, I understand that. And Doge does have a decent amount of liquidity as far as meme coins go. Oops. This is what we were talking about, guys. Watch out for that SFP. Because of the bearish CVD divergences, if we really start to lose this, and start to lose our channel again. It's really trying to hold though. Let's see if we can't get that. We did close the 5-minute above. So we did now have a bullish break in market structure. What I would look for, let's say we didn't take a long anywhere in this area here. Let's say we do come down and start to hold the back test of the channel. We could look for the long here, and I would honestly just be putting my stop below that local low. And then I would be targeting, I mean, the VWAP's already a 2-to-1, but you would want to target probably the golden pocket of this move. And of course, leave some open to take the highs of yesterday. All right. Man, we might just start to take off here. Let's look at our 1 minute. Yeah, actually, you look at, you even kind of back tested that, and you're pushing up locally here. And you're breaking out of the value area high. I like that we're re-entering the channel. I just don't like the bearish CVD divergences. Now, if we can do something like come up and take out that high and invalidate the bearish CVD divergences, continue up here, take out that high. If you get a retracement, you can look for the long on the retracement to take up. I was really hoping we'd get this trade today. I want to go back to that 12-minute. Okay, the 12-minute did close above that as well. So yeah, you're starting to get some decent low time frame candle closes above it. We do have slight bear divs on NAMI, but very slight. Man, it's just a little bit of a short squeeze, but there wasn't even that many shorts to squeeze because our entire range that we've been in here, open interest has just been decreasing. And really, for this entire corrective range since yesterday's, actually since the lower high, no, yes, since yesterday's highs, our open interest is just significantly decreasing here. But if you want to see bearish CVD, like 15-minute chart, this should be concerning to you. The larger bearish CVD that is developing here. So from the high, you're right down here. Look at how much higher your CVD is going. So your CVD is making higher and higher highs. You're making lower highs in the price action. Yes, it is on a big drop in open interest. But that is bearish CVD divergences. So because of that, now that we're breaking back in the channel, you might look at seeing that rejection from our golden pocket, either, you know, this golden pocket here at 72.4, or you could even pull the golden pocket from the highs and look at that golden pocket at like 72.750. But because you're seeing bearish CVD divs, you do have a possibility of making a lower high before dumping down. And then you would look at your more bearish scenario of a 1 2 1 2 potentially dump. And that would make sense if we're going to take out the 60K lows in the next couple of weeks. A double 1 2 to start us off would be really nice, because a lot of people would be longing, you know, this top in here. Yeah, it does look like it wants to break up here locally. We're holding above these prior highs. We broke above them, flipped them, back tested 2 different times, and it's holding. So yes, it does look like it. We at least want to come take out 71.7. And we have been quite far away from our VWAP as well. So yeah, we could come up to VWAP too. Let's see if we reject from VWAP. Let's get rid of this guy. Okay, yeah, let's watch for our backtest of the value area low. Because just like here, we lost it. Bearish backtest. If you reject here, you expect to take out this low. We did. We took out that low. You came up again here. You rejected again. So now you expect to take out this low. We did. So if we come up again, reject here, you would expect to take out this low. SFP finally. But it could also be, if you reject here, you're going to just lose it. It would be nice to see if we do see some shorts coming in on that backtest to the value area low. Once again, you need that open interest to start increasing here. And this to start decreasing your CVD. Let's see if we do have some shorter shorting that. But a pretty boring day, guys. A pretty boring day here. Ethereum is rejecting that channel midline. Rejection here. New lows. If we do start to really reject here. I mean, but we did break market structure bullishly finally. I guess you did here as well. You can see you were lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. You finally came up and broke market structure bullishly, but you still made another low here. So yes, we broke market structure bullishly. High, low, higher high now. But because we did, we could pull the golden pocket, and this golden pocket, now the golden pocket's a little bit higher, 2070. take out this liquidity into that golden pocket, maybe wick a little bit below it to hit the 2067 value area high. But either way, you're back testing your value area high and you're attempting to bounce. The bounce so far has not been strong. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's not a strong bounce so far. But at least it's something. Did you hit the VWAP? No, on Bybit, the VWAP's a bit higher. Five-minute did confirm some bear divs on NAMI, and now the 3-minute is too. But your money flow looks really good. So because of that, let's see if we come down to the bottom of this channel. 71 300-ish or 71 like 320-ish. If we can get a bounce, we could probably at least look for the scalp long. But here's the thing. If we long this right here, and then we start to come up to the VWAP and reject, I would just close the trade. Like, I would just close it. All right, we're starting to get some volatility right now. Ooh, this could, okay. I want to watch this 5-minute candle. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. Fresh shorts came in. Fresh shorts shorting right now. And because this move up was a weak move up, this could actually bring us down here. What's up, ZMX? Welcome in, man. Good to see you in here. Maybe Jason is singing the pump song somewhere. It's trying to hold. Let's look at a super low scalp. Stop, go below that low. Target the value area high. Okay, that's already... That would have been a nice scalp, but we're starting to break down. Yeah, and we still wanted to wait for that 5-minute candle close. So we still have 3 minutes left. Big increase in open interest here. Fresh shorts coming in. These fresh shorts are pushing us down. So this move up was not a weak move up on a decrease in open interest. Now we're starting to see shorts come in on an increase in open interest. These shorts are stronger and healthier than what we saw pushing up. And remember, we were still seeing bearish CVD. The bearish CVD was from this high. You are still making lower highs on the chart. You are making significant higher highs on the CVD. Yes, it is on a big decrease in open interest, but it is still bearish CVD. And that's why I wasn't necessarily looking for longs yet, because the bearish CVD. And because we saw this bit of a move up right before the SFP, guys, be careful, because we might not SFP anymore. If we would have did this and then come down and hit it, that would have been okay. But because we saw like a couple hours of a push up here, And if we do come down now, technically you do have a higher probability to see a failed SFP and an actual breakdown because we front ran it so closely and saw a bit of a move up first. Yeah, OI and CVD is one of the best things to look at, man. It is so great. Because look at what was the one thing that kept me out of long in the last 2 hours was the bearish CVD. And now we are starting to get a huge spike in our open interest as far as new short positions. New short positions are coming in right now. All right, now let's do this. Let's get rid of this range for a second. And let's look at our smaller little range that we've been in. You're back inside your volume profile. You attempted to break out. You're back inside of it. So let's pull our golden pocket from the lows that we had to our highs. Yeah, coming down. If you do bounce from the POC, that's a kind of a scalp level to look at. Because remember, we broke market structure bullishly locally by taking out this high. So if you break market structure bullishly, you do have a higher, not a guarantee, but a higher probability to put in a higher low before making another higher high. Just continuing high, low, higher low, and then you could see a break up here. But that's at pretty much 70,967. That is like the earliest I would consider along now that we've closed a 5-minute candle underneath our channel. Okay, you're getting some long stepping in. Let's go to the 1 minute. Where did you go? Yeah, a couple long stepping in. They might just to fill this little imbalance. We have an imbalance in here in this 5-minute candle. The vibe of some bearish news just dropped. Okay. No, it does look like we're going to continue down a bit. Didn't quite come up to the 1-to-1, but still. So we'll leave that golden pocket on, and then we can even look at a lot of this is algorithm trading, guys. So that's why we're kind of seeing these channels down, these channels up, low, decreasing open interest. It's just these bots trading in this. Like no one is interested but bot trading right now. And now we're seeing more shorts coming in on increase in open interest here. Thinking we're heading south for a 67K area. However, we did retest that break in structure at 71.7. And we would be a great place to revisit. Yeah. 71.7, that was this guy here. Yeah, 67 is too low for the impulse, but yes, could we? Yes. Let's see if we bounce from the bottom of this thing. We're just doing static attack. Welcome in, man. We're doing very low time frame scalping because it's so boring right now. But just watch for the SFP. We have alerts set on that SFP. It might fail now because of this little move up. What fib are we bouncing from? The 0.5? Yeah, you're seeing a little bounce from your 0.5 Fibonacci. Of course, Random Trader. Thank you for being here, man. Guys, I do got to take off soon here. Like, I got like 15 minutes max before I got to take off. Dang it. This stream sucked today. Tomorrow, let's hope we get something good in stream and at least some decent scalp trades. We'll try some scalp trades tomorrow. I mean, obviously, we're not going to force it, right? And please hit the like button if you guys got any sort of insight into the market or just had fun during the live stream, even though it was a really boring live stream as far as price action goes. I think we started the live stream like this was our live stream today. Ugh. Okay, now we had those shorts coming in. If we do start to bounce, especially towards the end, right at the bottom here, we had shorts coming in on this candle. So if we start to break, and now let me make this bigger for you guys. I'm sorry. At that last big red candle right here, we had shorts coming in. You can see all those fresh shorts coming in that candle. So if we do start to break up past that candle, we could see a little bit of a short squeeze up. Like I'm talking about a little bit, not anything significant. Wow, your money flow looks pretty strong here, guys. Now, here's the thing on the 1 minute time frame, if we do get this 3-wave corrective move down to the golden pocket, that could be a nice little area to look for a long to at least take out this high. I would want to see it come up a little bit higher. Yeah, awesome, Crypto Wanderer. Well, thank you, man. I'm glad that you guys are at least enjoying the live streams here. Cool. Come up a little bit higher. And look at your money flow is starting to look like it wants to roll over. or at least it's not as aggressive. Open interest is starting to kind of decrease again on the little bit of a squeeze. Okay, let's see. Ooh, okay, wow. Breaking back in, but let's see if we reject this midline of this smaller channel. Because we could short squeeze. Look at this here, largely from this candle. You have shorts that were coming in, new shorts. So we could start to squeeze all the way up there. 71,380 to like 71,400 almost. And you're trying to break out that value area high again. How does the 5-minute money flow look? Man, you guys, this is too choppy for me. This is a little bit too choppy for me. We're not really in any key levels. Yes, you're at the bottom of the channel and the back to like the value area high of this mini range. Previous day VWAP. Okay. Would it be a wave 4 with a 5th wave going down? Yeah. So we were looking like there is that kind of possibility. Let me just hide this. Right? Where you have in here from this high, you have a couple 1-2s, a 1, 2, 1. This is a flat and a 2. This could be a 3 here, 4, 5, and then this could be another 4, and then you would want to see another 5 in here, but you would want to then come down and take out that low. Because you get your kind of sideways choppy triangle. You get your big move down where there's no overlap between this low and this high. There's no overlap. And then now we start chopping kind of sideways in here. Exhaustion. But you would still want to come down and take out that low for one more low. So honestly, guys, I'm not interested in anything in this little range. Maybe that golden pocket at the POC, right? If we do that golden pocket again, POC golden pocket, pretty much 79.67. And if we see that 3-wave move, like I said, it actually does look pretty nice for a little 3-wave move here. Boom, 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 into the golden pocket. Because we broke market structure bullishly, you might make a higher low at the golden pocket. So that would be the only thing. You're really playing with low time frame because you're not even really going to be able to see bull divs on the 1 minute from that. Actually, you could see bull divs on the 1 minute from that. Yeah, you could. Let's see if we get that move down. SFP before China opens of the lows. Yeah, you could get that SFP still. I'm in the camp 74K is the end of a wave of the fifth wave. Yeah, me too. My HHK, I do still believe that's the highest probability. The only thing that I want to see in validation, so hitting 70,128 would really confirm that for me, and then I would be a lot more gung-ho on looking for some swing shorts. Yeah, that first 5 you mentioned is not an impulse. Okay, wait, let's see here. This right here could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could get a 5 in there. Of course, we're on 1 minute. I mean, like, listen, Elliott waves on under 15 minutes get super. They break down because the market's not perfect. It's psychology works. Human psychology works in trading overall. That's what it's based off of. But it doesn't work for like the micro ebbs and flows in the market that happen based off the millions and millions of traders that are trading every single second of every single day all around the world, plus all the bots that are trading. So yes, Elliott waves do start to break down on super low time frames. Elliott waves are best looked at. Even the 15-minute is kind of rough for looking at Elliott waves, but I would say 1 hour and up, and especially more macro moves. Elliott waves work really well for macro moves. Yeah, a triangle as well, but a triangle would be, let's see, where would we look at that triangle? In here. 1, 2, 1, 2. You got your big 3, 4. Okay, I see here what you mean by this being. I mean, if you did this as the 4, and then even this as a corrective move. You mean this is so much chop in here as a secondary 4 before seeing another 5. It's just, what you'd have to look at this is some sort of like W. You get your flat here. That's a 3-wave move and a W. Then you get your 3-wave move down here. Then you get your 3-wave move up here. So a WXY in that 4 on the 1 minute time frame. Dang. Okay, guys, I do have to get going. And I know that we sat here the entire stream looking for action, and now we're finally coming down to some area that might work. And I have to leave, but I do have to leave. We can, if you have bull divs, 3-minute, 5-minute bull divs, you can take that. Now, what I would do personally is I would be waiting for it to bounce. I would long probably off a 5-minute candle close and put my stop below that low. So let me show you that. If you hit the golden pocket and start to bounce, 3-minute, 5-minute candle close, you're probably going to be longing up here a bit. Your stop would go below wherever that last candle close was. And I would literally just be targeting the highs right here, at least. That is still a decent scalp trade right there. Or at the very first TP1, you'd probably want to take is these highs because you can continue to build bearish CVD overall within this range. You're still kind of continuing to build some bearish CVD. So taking out the highs we just hit. But be careful because look at this is just as you're correcting up in this ascending channel, volume is decreasing here, and that is the sign of a corrective move. So could the golden pocket hold? Yes, but it's not guaranteed, because if you start to lose it, you're probably going to come down and sweep that low really, really quickly. If you're not sure, stay out of it, guys. If you're not sure, or risk a very, very small amount, you know, not even 1%, maybe a 0.5% or something. Decrypto, welcome in, man. So I wish I could never stop streaming. Family comes first. I got to go get the kiddo. And I do like to stay involved in her life, you know, so that's that, I guess. But thank you guys. I appreciate y'all so much. Please hit the like button on your way out, and I will be live tomorrow as well. If we see some action before 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, I might stream a little bit early. So I'll probably post and let you guys know in the Telegram if I'm going to stream early, but also just keep an eye out for that YouTube card, that thumbnail card, because I'll try to post a half an hour. I'll try to like list the stream a half an hour ahead of time at least. But thank you guys all so much. Appreciate you all. I hope to see you all tomorrow. Much love and have a good one.